connected. I'm hoping we're live. I'm hoping you can hear me. And bear with me one moment. Got to get reconnected to the call board because of that internet drop. Yeah, very strange. Also trying to get the live stream to go on YouTube and it just won't start. So hopefully that's up and running too. But yeah, very interesting. And again, I'm wondering, is this a bad internet connection at a consequential time, or is it also that today I woke up and my main channel has 2 strikes on it out of the blue for older videos? Went from 0 strikes to 2 strikes today on YouTube, but now we're having trouble connecting. Again, this information that we put out, it is it has the potential to be very consequential for the people who are exposing what is being exposed when we spread word about this knowledge. The way the cabal uses dates and language to encode the propaganda and rituals they do. And assuming I'm connected here, you guys, this moment we're living in, the cabal is just laughing so hard at us right now, just laughing so hard. How we've fallen for their scam, how they can put in their mainstream press how much money the billionaires of the world have made off this pandemic while their stores are allowed to be open, and, you know, mom and pop have to stay home because it's just too dangerous unless your name's Home Depot or Kroger's or Walmart, etc. But anyway, there's just so many things going on right now. The way we're being scammed, the way our lives are being changed in the snap of fingers over something so silly, something that makes so little sense. You have that. Then you have the media provoking you as they've never provoked you before among, you know, racial differences, if you will. And of course, they've been doing this for years, but now they make it extra dramatic, and they do it on top of people being already in a bad, you know, mood, if you will, from, you know, being told to stay inside for all this time. And now the beautiful part of the year for places like Seattle, Washington, where they finally get some sun, you know, scary to be outside. So people are in a foul mood, you know, and then they do this to provoke them. And then they start doing stuff like this. Then they start broadcasting mainstream headlines about how Ford is bringing back the Bronco that they haven't made for years. And they're going to bring it back on O.J. Simpson's birthday. And for younger people, they might not get it. But again, for people who are, you know, around my age and older, we all know that the O.J. Simpson trial was this thing that disturbed people, this injustice so many felt, and it was racial. And it was the first time in the history of the world a black man got away with what looked like cold-blooded murder. So it was different than the, you know, typical narrative where the black guy always goes down. He's the bad guy. He's guilty. The O.J. Simpson story was a different outcome than what the mainstream normally programs people with, but then they made it look, you know, like it had to have been him. So now at this time, they bring back that old major racial psyop that captivated the whole nation's mind at the time. They bring it back to announce the return of a vehicle. I mean, and again, for young people who don't get it, O.J. Simpson, part of what made him look guilty is he drove away from authorities in his white Bronco, and the, you know, that news helicopter found him and followed him down the street. It was primetime television forever. It still is. And, you know, the other thing is if you've been with me since before, you know, the season of Super Bowl 50, when that football season began, at the very early part of the season, we saw how the white Broncos would beat the Black Panthers in this race war Super Bowl that was connected to all the police shootings at the time, white police officers shooting young black men. And I said they're going to use the white Bronco symbolism like O.J. Simpson, and then the Black Panther with Cam Newton, because the founder of the Black Panthers is Huey P. Newton, and he founded the Black Panther Party in the Bay Area where the Super Bowl was that year, plus some other things. And sure enough, that's exactly what the Super Bowl was. But I still remember what killed us is they brought back a TV show with Cuba Gooding Jr. starring as O.J. Simpson, and it debuted on FX like right before the Super Bowl. I think it was the weekend before the Super Bowl. They had the brand new O.J. Simpson, and the first episode was him driving in the white Bronco. And I was like, look at this, you guys. We've been talking about how this is going to be the theme all year. O.J. Simpson, the football player, the racially charged football narratives, the news and sports always coming together. And now, you know, again, it's just like the Ferguson year. That was the football season after, you know, Ferguson and Garner in the offseason. Now this year's a lot like that year. And this, O.J. Simpson, the Bronco chase, Ford bringing back the Bronco on the anniversary. Well, look at this. July 9, 2020, the day they're bringing it back, date with 56 date numerology. So this year is perfect for the ritual. Ford Bronco equals 56. And as we know, that's been the number of the year, from Qasem Soleimani to coronavirus and everything about coronavirus, even encoding it a lot in the George Floyd related stories, like Derek Chauvin and him working at the same bar with the 56 name, with the Spanish name, like how corona is a Spanish word and it's been compared to the Spanish flu. But remember, 56, this is the number of the Jesuits. Society of Jesus is 56 forward, 79 in reverse. And this has been huge with coronavirus as well. Just like Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, his name equals 56. Like coronavirus, like Washington, D.C., the pandemic was declared March 11th, his 79th day of being 79 years old. And again, he's a Jesuit, which is the Society of Jesus. OJ's full name equals 84, divide and conquer, Jesuit tactic 84, of course Jesuits 84, big number with the Jesuits. We just talked about the death of their superior general May 20th at age 84. So, you know, that's one of the things going on. Some more pretty disgusting stuff just being rubbed in our faces right now on Trump's 74th birthday. Did you see how golf returned for Trump's 74th birthday? And it was the 74th Charles Schwab Classic. And the guy with the April 7th birthday, 7-4, that date can be written, won it. 68 days after his birthday, where golf 68, Donald John Trump 68, who just returned to golf May 23rd, 2020. A date with 68 numerology when he had last golfed on March 8th, the 68th day of the year, as important as 68 is. But in addition to that golf ritual with 74, Israel, on Trump's 74th birthday, renamed an area of the Golan Heights, which Israel took from Syria in the Six-Day War in 1967, just before that infamous year of 68. But that area, Golan Heights, and Israel's just continued to take more and more land for all of its existence, something it said it would not do when it was first created. It said it would respect its neighbors. Anyway, they renamed that area Trump Heights, and again, they did this on Trump's 74th birthday. Jewish, Masonic, occult, energy, English, Gematria, all 74, Trump Heights, 74. The 74th Charles Schwab Classic, won by the guy with the 7-4 birthday, April 7th, which was the day in history the Trump Tower burned as well. Date can be written 4-7, like 47, Trump equals 47. Same with president, same with White House, same with government, same with authority, same with Republican, same with Democrat. Same with France, 47 degrees on the Masonic compass out of the Scottish Rite of France. Jesuits, Scottish Rite, France, the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., laid out by the French Freemason L'Enfant. Okay, so you got those stories big today. Kentucky congressman's wife and mother of two found dead in their home, and they don't say why she died, but I just started looking at this, and some things started to jump out real quick. Andy Barr's name equals 83 and 38, like murder, right? It's not to say that he's a murderer, could just be unfortunate. But then you look further, she died in Lexington, Kentucky on the 38th parallel, and she died June 16th. Andy Barr's birthday is July 24th, meaning she died exactly 38 days before his birthday. And as we know, death, murder, killing, RIP, they all sum to 38. Death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. And of course we know the movie poster Murder by Numbers, the E is changed to a 3 and the B is changed to an 8. So that you're watching on the YouTube live stream if it is working. The good news is if it's not working, I am recording as well, so I'll end up uploading the video if it doesn't stream. But anyhow, murder has that Gematria of 38, and in the poster, they code the E to the 3 and the B to the 8. The song Murder by Numbers by the band The Police came out in 1983. If you've never heard this song, The Police, that's the band, The Police, Murder by Numbers. Look up the lyrics to that song, read it, go back and look at the George Floyd killing. He was killed next to car number 320, just like how he drove an ML 320 Mercedes, but he had to have a counterfeit $20 bill. Anyway, look at the police cruiser down on the corner that they walk in by. You'll see very clearly if you watch the high-res one that's been put out since. The police cruiser is number 830. Police Murder by Numbers 1983, Murder 3883. So coming back to this guy, Andy Barr, whose name is 83 and 38, and there's more I could say about the numbers in his name, but his wife's name, Eleanor, 34 and 38, Murder 34 and 38. And again, 38 days from the birthday. This is why I've always been frustrated with my critics, because they'll just say, oh, all he's doing is, turning letters into numbers and saying that means something. But that's never the way my research has ever been, because that's not how I started. What I notice is patterns that are outside of letters and numbers, and then when you decode those words, you see the same thing. Like people dying continuously on 38 date numerology, 38 days from their birthday, 83 days from their birthday. All things I was documenting. Then when I found Gematria, I was like, whoa, this is why it's always that number. So, and again, it's always been a learning experience. I still learn more because I'm doing research every day. But, I've written a book about murder in 38 and these patterns, and since that book came out, there's probably at least 200 more examples, if not more, that I could tuck into a chapter that's already over 150 pages long in a book that's about 800 pages. Also interesting, he's about to turn 47, and from his last birthday to his wife's death was his 47th week of his age. He's 46 years old, which means he's in his 47th year of his life right now. He'll turn 47 in July. And again, some people always struggle with that. They're like, wait, if you're 46, how can you be in your 47th year of your life? Again, you have to start from the beginning. When you're born, you turn 1. That's your first year of your life. After you turn 1, you begin the second year of your life, and then you turn 2. So, anyway, 47, again, 47, that number, 47 degrees on the Masonic compass out of the Scottish Rite in France. 47, Secret Society 166, this happened 16/6. The news, the day after June 17th, date with 43 numerology, Kentucky and Masonic 43. There's more I could say here, but I'll leave it there for now. Hit a few more stories. Then we'll go to your calls after the break. And then we'll have Rambo with us, of course. And then we have Eric 777 joining us again. I got some things I want to ask him tonight. He was with us a few weeks back, gave us a great interview. Again, for people who are watching tonight and don't follow me on GematriaEffectNews, that is my main channel, but it's suspended right now. It's on the verge of being deleted again. Again, it's been deleted 19 times, so you got to imagine it sometime in 2020 they're going to give it the 20th deletion. But anyway, if you guys don't normally follow me on GematriaEffectNews, this guest we had 2-3 weeks back, and he was awesome. He's going to come back on tonight. Last time I let him have the floor and just run with it. I'll mostly do the same thing tonight, but this time I want to ask him some things to see where he stands. So that'll be ahead too. But for one more big news story today, before we go on to your calls, Rayshard Brooks, the officer responsible for his killing, charged with murder. And today, the day of this announcement, this charge, date was 63 numerology. Racism equals 63. We've talked about this pattern with racism in 63 for years. Last weekend, there was a headline about how a 63-year-old restaurant was going to change their name and support a Black Lives Matter, a story we talked about a week back. There's been a couple other examples of 63, but over the years, we've talked about 63 and racism a lot. They did so many rituals with Bill Cosby in 63. It's all programming. Today's date also has the 43 numerology, Policeman 43, Civil War 43, George Floyd 43. Remember, they've reported in the media that in this Rayshard Brooks killing, might be Rayshard, apologies on the pronunciation, but they've said that the video At the 43rd minute, that's where it becomes, violent and ends in the shooting outcome at the 43rd minute. And again, let's review everything that's up with the 43rd minute. But before we do it, just notice people.com, when they broke the news of this article, they published it at 3:38 p.m., 38 minutes after the hour, a story about murder. Again, you guys, might seem silly, but when you become aware of this knowledge, you just see how often it's done. It's truly done daily. You'll just, for the rest of your life, you'll notice a story about murder. They'll code it 38 minutes after, sometimes 34 as well, because murder's 34 and 38. Again, it just becomes boring once you're aware of it. You're like, God, just look how they do it all the time, and it's sick. It's like an AI is writing the news, and I think that's mostly what is going on. But with regards to this officer, I want to make a point. When I did my initial decode and presentation on the shooting of Rayshard Brown and why it happened 612 June 12th after the Minneapolis George Floyd killing in the 612 area code, where police equals 612, and in my last book I wrote about patterns with the police in 612. So again, well-established pattern, nothing new. It's why they did this in Minneapolis, to bring about this whole, planned show. And just before I go any further, just realize what they're doing to us right now. It's sick what they're doing, because they're actually promoting things in the mainstream that are correct. But you have to realize what a sick, twisted way it is that they're doing it. They're putting out these right ideas to set them up for failure so that they can say to society, see, this way doesn't work. And that's going to be BS, because they set it up with the planned failure. And what I'm talking about is this. Coronavirus has put a lot of people out of work. A lot of people are in debt. Their businesses are never going to come back. People are already screwed, and the government is just dragging them along on the leash. Talk about asphyxiation and I can't breathe. But they have people in a really bad spot. And they're saying it could get much worse. They're saying there could be food shortages, greater unemployment. It could be worse. It could be much worse than it is now. And it's already bad for a lot of people. So they're doing this. And now, all these years of all this psychological operations, hate, division that the mainstream pumps and just says, oh, well, we're just reporting what's going on in the world. When in reality, what they're doing is they're controlling the information and using it to steer people for the sake of a very sinister agenda, which pretty much boils down to get worked up about this, make this poor choice as a citizen, if you even have a choice, give up this right so that this problem that was completely manufactured can be resolved. But anyway, again, they have people in a really bad spot, and now they're talking about experimenting and defunding police, when we live in a society where we've never been raised to really care about our neighbor and take care of other people and worry about other people and treat them as we treat ourselves, which is, that's pretty much every spiritual teaching, and that's the way it should be. But that's not what we're taught in America. In America, it's, you're put in a classroom, you compete, you want to be the top of the pack. And not everybody's this way, but this is kind of our culture. Dog eat dog, competitive, number one, the best. And, those will not be good qualities for a society if the rug's ever pulled out from under us, and then we're just expected to, maintain and take care of numero uno the way we think. And for all the people who are in a really bad spot, who become in a worse spot because of this agenda, they might be the same people who are like, well, damn, I got to eat somehow. And you know what? I just heard they got rid of 100 police officers in this town, so that means if, my Uncle Joey was getting away with crime, I could probably really get away with it right now. And it won't be good. And there'll be failures in certain areas, and they'll point to them and they'll say, see, we tried to give resources to that community instead of police, and then it just turned into all-out chaos there, when really they've just set up this whole situation. To make these kind of proposals and changes at this time, it's such a very transparent, sick joke what's being done. And I hope I'm explaining what I'm saying clearly enough. They're putting out the right idea, and the right idea is we do need less police and all this crap. This is not what helps anything. You do need more resources and investment in people so that they're not they're a lot less likely to end up in a really bad situation where they're desperate and have to resort to crime and stealing from people and breaking in to, you know, put food on the table, because that's the way it is for some people. And again, those people who are in that way, there's a reason. You know, they grew up in the wrong, you know, family, in the wrong neighborhood. There's a story to why they were that way. Had that family, you know, had more resources to take better care of their child, you know, it would have been a different outcome. So anyway, they're saying we need to do that right now, which is right. But look at how they're doing it. They're doing it just at this time where they've provoked everybody and put them in a bad spot. It's just so sick. And then meanwhile in Detroit, they're erecting a statue of RoboCop, the robotic police officer. Again, in the same time that they're, in the same time that they're modeling these robotic dogs put out by this Boston company that go and track down people who have coronavirus, and they're modeling robotic soldiers that could replace the infantry of today. It's just, and again, they're telling us that they built this massive surveillance grid and they're tracking us. It's just, that's the other thing too. They'll need less police because of all the surveillance and cameras and tracking that will only get worse and worse. But hold on, real quick before we get to the commercial, this officer who's charged with murder. I didn't cover him when I first decoded the story because I saw that the media was using two different spellings of his name, and I was like, well, which is it? Because some people were spelling Garrett Rolfe, R-O-L-F, and some were putting an E on the end. And since Gematria spelling's everything, I do want to point out that the spelling that they could not agree to, the mainstream media, because one mainstream media would have it one way, another the other way, and it's a lot of time it is this way with mass shootings. Documented this over the years. But the one spelling Garrett Rolfe had the Gematria 59 like Atlanta, Georgia, which is like kill in Jewish Gematria. And we were talking about how on Wendy's, Atlanta was the story all day, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. 59 date numerology. Again, suspicious numbers. Talked about it with George Floyd, killed 59 days before the mayor's birthday because of what 59 symbolizes in terms of our history and race. Again, the words slave, Negro, blues, Rasta, they're all 59. Motown Records came out in 59. Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year, and so on. But now it seems that everybody has agreed to the spelling with the E on the end of Rolfe, which has Gematria of 79 like murder. Rolfe is also 56 like Civil War. Remember, NASCAR just banned the Confederate flag last week, June 10th, a date with 56 numerology, and they made the 43 car the Black Lives Matter car. NASCAR 56 and 43, the 43 car, the Civil War symbolism, Civil War 43 and 56, Policeman 43, George Floyd 43. See, this number 56, we caught it at the beginning of the year with the Soleimani. They were coding 56 everywhere. So his name 56. 56 people reported trampled at his funeral. Very specific number. Then coronavirus came 56, and there's been 1,056 rituals this year. Interest rates, wacky throughout the world, a 56 thing. Unemployment, 56. Food shortage, 56, which they're forecasting. Civil War, 56. It's like they're coding this number, this ritual, everything about it through this. And they've been doing it since the start of the year with the channeling of at least 56 people killed at Qasem Soleimani's funeral. And then remember, on March 11th, the day the pandemic was declared, is when the United States government declared the War Powers, the War Powers resolution. So Trump had, less leverage to start a war with Iran. And then Donald Trump waited until May 6th, 5-6, exactly 56 days later to veto it. Just all this stuff. The officer who stood by in the Atlanta video, Devin Brosnan with the most Pierce cipher, his name 56. His name also has the 83 in it, like murder, like police and murder by numbers. There's a lot coded in here. If you can see the notes on the screen, just a lot of the same old patterns we've been talking about. And again, just the fact that they said the 43rd minute, notice his name Brosnan's 43 as well. Again, the officer responsible, they said the confrontation started at the 43rd minute of the video, the body cam. So anyhow, those are some of the top stories. A lot of news by the numbers, as usual. We'll be right back with your calls, and lots more to talk about tonight.
These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slows circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
Jacob Frank Leibovich is the mastermind behind a global network of satanic cults. He taught that the creator God was evil. Jacob Frank proclaimed himself as the true Messiah. He vowed never to tell the truth. He rejected every moral law and declared that the only way to a new society was through the total destruction of civilization. Murder, rape, incest, and the drinking of blood were perfectly acceptable actions and rituals. His followers established the Marxist system and have infiltrated Islam and Judaism. He was the Messiah of the Illuminati.
EnigmaTV.com.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. I have to block out the music, otherwise they give it a copyright strike. Because, again, this is broadcasting through the Truth Frequency Radio platform. If you've never checked out Truth Frequency Radio, their website is TFRlive.com. And, again, you can always listen back to the show there in the audio form if you don't want the video. So, we've got to get to your calls. There's a lot more we're going to talk about tonight. A lot of other stories. And there's also something I want to share with you so bad, Truth Seeker. Somebody revealed something to me today that it's just been eating me up all day, but they also asked if I would please not talk about it. And I was like, man, why are you telling this to me and then asking me not to talk about it? But eventually there's just something, I hate secrets. I hate when people confide something in you and then ask you not to share it. Because it's like, okay, if you're going to share it with me and then ask me. The world needs to know this information. So when this person, I'm going to talk to this person again, I'm going to say, this story needs to be shared with the world. It's so important, you guys. It's just, I'll just say this. There are bad things going on right now in this nation's hospitals during the time of this whole coronavirus thing, and maybe some of the most sinister stuff in the history of supposedly human health care. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna take calls, but yeah, that's the other thing that's going on with me is just I have this thing inside me that's like that I just want to tell everybody so bad, but again, the person's also aware of my show. They said, please do not talk about this tonight. So, anyway, let's go out to the calls. Switzerland is first in line, and then we'll go to Rambo. Rambo, sorry to make you hold, but Switzerland, just since they're calling from across the world. Switzerland, what's up?
Hi, Zachary. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Doing well.
I'm doing great, thank you. Okay, so I wanted to share something with you. 2 weeks ago, I told you about Tom Cruise and how the movie Top Gun came out 34 years ago.
Right.
Oh, well, 34 years later. If you'll be so kind to pop up the blog, because I think that they are predicting some type of war that's going to occur.
Mm-hmm.
You've been looking for the 846 on different things, right? And you wouldn't believe that Tom Cruise has 846 in his name.
Is it Jewish gematria or something?
Yep, it's Jewish Gematria.
Tom Cruise equals 846?
Well, it's Tom Cruise, and it equals 846.
Okay. That's his full name, huh?
And what's important about that is you covered this writer from the This Is Us, the writer that died, Jazz Waters.
Okay.
Well, Jazz Waters, there's a military jet plane, and it's called Jazz 39, and Jazz Waters died at age 39.
Right.
So what's interesting about that is they introduced that military jet plane on June 9th, and Jazz Waters happened to die on June 9th.
Huh. Sick stuff, yeah.
So it's very, very interesting because the military jet is called Jazz 39 Gripen. And in German, Gripen means flu. So it has to do with Corona and what's happening now right now, like at the current moment.
Huh. Okay.
So I made a post about that if anybody wants to go look at it, because it's a lot of war-related things going on. I don't know if you found out that George Perry Floyd Jr. is 1939 in Jewish Gematria as well. Like World War II started in 1939.
Right. Yep. The Great War. Yeah.
Exactly. And George Floyd, his name also is 69. Like when that military jet was introduced.
That reminds me that
now
when
we're getting Top Gun 34 years.
When they shut down Big Bend in the UK, and they said they were shutting it down for 4 years, a number that's symbolic of time, like the 4 seasons. That whole ritual was synced up with this movie, The Great War. I have to go back and look at it all, but that's what you're saying. Like, are they telling us that like World War is near? And yeah, now we have this coronavirus compared to Spanish flu, which came out of World War I, and now they're doing the Civil War thing in the U.S. And yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot. Also, Holy Bible is 846, and also
Holy Bible is 846. Can you tell me what cipher when you say things
Holy
like
Bible is 846
in what?
Sorry?
In what cipher?
In English Extended.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that one's interesting. The name Gutenberg is 666 in that cipher, and the first English printed Bible's Gutenberg. So.
Yeah, so Holy Bible is 846. So I think that's one big 846 reason why they have coded that. And also, this one's very interesting. If you write George Perry Floyd in Jewish Gematria, it sounds to 1259, just like Boaz and Jachin, which are the 2 pillars.
Right. Yeah.
Like the 2 temples. So that's very interesting as well. And also, by the way, do you remember when you covered the George Floyd porn video?
Right, yeah.
Do you know why they gave us a porn video to begin with?
Why?
Because Pornhub was founded on May 25th.
Really? That is sick.
Yep, 13 years ago.
That is so sick.
That is very sick. I made a post on that as well, so you guys want to go look? It's crazy. Even the date numerology is perfect. 57 and 39.
The day it was established?
Yep, the day was established. May 25th, 2007. 13 years ago. 13, when you write it out, it's 99, so like racism.
Right.
So that's why they gave us that. And also, in the video, he says Floyd the landlord. Guess why he says Floyd the landlord?
Well, I know that has that 76 encoding.
Well, Floyd the landlord is because of the Monopoly game. The Monopoly game is 116 years old right now. And it was called the landlord's game.
Huh. Help me out. So the
So that's
116.
why. And when you write his name,
the 116 connects to words like country.
yeah, it's
and
very crazy. Like, right.
So what's the bigger thing
That's
with the
insane. Even the guy that made the Monopoly game, his name is George as well. So it's definitely a tribute to him.
Okay. Interesting.
And well, I got the last one. The last one is really important because it has to do with Wendy's and the person that died right now. This guy, Rayshard Brooks. That was a whole tribute to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is born on 18/7. She's born on July 18th.
Huh.
And it is definitely synced with her and the woman which Wendy's is named after. I did a post on that too. And do you remember when Wendy Williams collapsed?
Right.
2 years ago?
Right, yeah.
She collapsed on TV and she was dressed as the Statue of Liberty. Would you believe it? The Statue of Liberty was given to America on the birthday of Bill Gates, October 28th. Wendy Williams is going to turn 56 years old this year.
Huh. Yeah, good observation about that date.
And it's also, attributing to Trump because the Statue of Liberty is 133 years old. And this guy was killed at 10:33. So it's definitely a tribute to that as well.
Okay. Very interesting.
So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. So just for the people out there, we just really need to pay attention because they are like telling us that something big is coming. Most definitely. I think every story that they give us, not just, out of fun and games, but it's more of a message all the time. So we have to be alert,
Indeed. Well, great work. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good live stream.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Thank you. All right, let's go out to Rambo. Rambo, sorry for making you wait. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay, thanks.
Your call sounds a little bit broken up.
How do I sound now?
Yeah, it still sounds a little broken up.
Yeah, I don't know what I can do on my end. The last 2 weeks I got cut off, so I don't know if there's some kind of interference.
There could be, man. Crackdown day. That you just got clear right there at the end.
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. So I don't know. I have no idea how I'm.
You sound good now. Let's go. Okay.
I'm sounding.
It cleared up. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I want to talk about the kneeling protests that have been going on, and get to the heart of what these kneeling protests really are. I did a post on it on GematriaEffectNews. It's under Rambo's Corner. It's actually the second post because I actually put another post on it which is related to it. And that'll be the first one, but this post will be underneath that one. It's titled George Floyd, the High Masonic Ritual and the Martyrdom of Hiram Abiff. I've talked about this in months past, about the Freemasonic ritual, the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff. It was enacted on an unwitting public in 2013, this Freemasonic ritual, at the West Gate shopping mall massacre in Nairobi, Kenya, in East Africa. which was blamed on Al-Shabaab Islamic terrorists. It was then performed by the National Football League. This is the martyrdom Hiram Abiff ritual. Police brutality protests, which is said to have been initiated by, at the time, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Hiram Abiff is a Freemasonic allegorical figure based on the characters of legend, mostly Eastern legend. So Hiram Abiff is based on Hiram of Tyre, who is a master builder contracted by King Solomon to build his temple. He's actually called Hura Abi. That's how his name was, and he actually very well could be a real person. He built he was the grand architect of the first Temple of Solomon. So the Freemasonic allegorical figure is based on him, but the Freemasonic allegorical figure is also based on the ancient Egyptian or ancient Kemet, Alsar, better known as Osiris. Osiris represents the sun. In the legend, Osiris is killed by his brother Set. Set, so S-E-T or S-E-T-H. That is where the English language gets the term sunset. Osiris goes into the underworld after being killed by his brother Set and is resurrected as Horus at the vernal equinox. Hiram Abiff is also seen as a Jesus Christ figure for that reason, dying and resurrecting. So Hiram Abiff is also related to Jesus Christ. You also get the name Seth, S-E-T-H, or like in Star Wars, Sith, from the killing of Osiris by Set, which is the metaphorical killing of the sun in the northern hemisphere at the autumnal equinox. So this is an autumnal equinox ritual, the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff. That's the sun going down on the year at the autumnal equinox. So that's what these rituals are pointing to. The killing of the sun, the killing of Osiris represents the sun, by Set. Also metaphorical dying of the sun at the end of each day. The daily sunset, the transition point from day to night. Hiram Abiff is Osiris, and by extension the sun. Again, Hiram Abiff is also the biblical Huram Abi of Tyre, who oversaw the building of the first Solomon's temple. In the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff Masonic allegory, Hiram Abiff is a master third-degree Freemason. That would be York Rite, since Scottish Rite appears to be the vehicle through which Illuminati and other demonic forces entered Freemasonry. But Hiram Abiff is a third-degree Master Mason and a Master Builder, Master Architect, in the process of overseeing the among the construction crew are 3 second-degree fellow craft Freemasons who design the secret word of the Master Mason, which is also known as the secret name of God. The 3 fellow craft second-degree Freemasons are forbidden to know the secret word of the Master Mason because they're not Master Masons. So the 3 second-degree fellow Freemasons are collectively known as the 3 ruffians: Jubilah, Jubilo, and Jubilum. Those are their names. And they seek to forcibly extract the secret word of the Master Mason from Hiram Abiff. Abiff is first attacked at the east gate of Solomon's temple by Jubilah, but he survives the attack and does not surrender the secret word of the Master Mason. He is then attacked at the south gate of Solomon's temple by Jubilo. He survives that attack and does not surrender the secret word of the Master Mason. Hiram Abiff is then attacked at the west gate of Solomon's temple by Jubilum, who killed him. Remember, Hiram Abiff is the sun, which sets in the west. So his death at the west gate is symbolic of the sun setting at the end of the day. The sun also sets at the end of summer at the autumnal equinox. Hiram Abiff never surrenders the secret word of the Master Mason. He becomes a martyr. He dies protecting the secret word of the Master Mason, which is also the secret name of God. There's a reason they are called secret societies, because this is important, keeping secrets. That's the essence of this myth, the importance of keeping secrets. The strength of secret societies is in their secrecy. JFK did a speech about that, and look how he ended up. The ritual of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff takes place on September 23rd. Westgate Mall attack in Nairobi, Kenya. Westgate, that's the name of the mall. It's a giveaway. The attack on that mall took place on September 21st, exactly on the autumnal equinox. And it's on the equator. Nairobi is practically on the equator. And the mall attack took place at 12 o'clock. In the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, the legend, Hiram Abiff was killed at 12 o'clock. That's exactly when that mall attack started, 12 o'clock noon. So that's the first thing. It might have been done elsewhere, but that's the first that I've noticed of a major ritual, martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, until the anthem kneeled. So it involves, the ritual itself involves one participant lying blindfolded on his back on the ground floor, flanked on both sides by a row of brethren, your brothers, each kneeling on one knee. So that's the nature of the ritual. It's 2 rows of brethren kneeling on one knee, and then one member imitating a dead Hiram Abiff. The martyrdom of Hiram Abiff autumnal equinox ritual is the origin of the NFL's kneeling protests and today's police brutality protests that the powers have directed to foist particularly on black people. So with gematria analysis, you can expect to see the number 42, and to a lesser extent 59, because those are the numbers in gematria associated with black people, black history in general, so often. The form of kneeling that is performed in the ritual is specifically genuflection. The definition of genuflect is to bend the knee or touch one knee to the floor or ground as in worship, or to be servilely respectful or deferential, to grovel. These are official definitions. Also, genuflection, the act of bending a knee to the ground as distinguished from kneeling, which more strictly involves both knees. So it's actually not kneeling. It's an act of submission. And another part of the definition, it has been a gesture of deep respect for a superior. With that definition, think about all these people who've been kneeling in front of the police. They get rows of police, and they will kneel in front of the police. And this is what you're doing. You're performing a gesture of deep respect for a superior. That's what you do to the queen when she's knighting you. You genuflect. If you're standing up for your rights, the last thing you want to do is genuflect. You're conceding that the person you're genuflecting to is superior. So this is what black people have been fooled into doing, into performing an act of submission in a covert Freemasonic ritual. So let's look at the gematria of genuflect. Genuflect comes to 42. Genuflection comes to 59. After the NFL genuflection, the movement was promoted on social media with the hashtag Take the Knee. Take the Knee comes to 42. Bended knee sums to 42. Interesting that bended knee also sums to 201, the number we've been talking about. So Donald Trump tweeted in opposition to the NFL players' genuflection in 2017 on September 23rd. September 23rd was not the opening day of the season, so he had all that time to tweet in protest, but Donald Trump's tweet came on September 23rd, the exact date of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff ritual. That's when it takes place, September 23rd. So I did a piece on Seth Duvall. He was the first white player to genuflect. That's my latest piece. I just put it up. So it should be on the menu on the website. So, but the main topic is George Floyd. This is the latest one, who has sparked mass genuflection and whose ritual death was also, among other things, the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff ritual being performed. George Floyd is, in effect, Hiram Abiff. He is the dead Hiram Abiff, which also makes him a Jesus figure, because Hiram Abiff is a Jesus figure who died and is resurrected. I mentioned how it was also a Mercury ritual, and Jesus relates to Mercury. I mentioned that previously. And there is a fondness by the elite, for whatever reason, of portraying black people as Jesus figures, disproportionately. The tropical zodiac sign of September 23rd, of the autumnal equinox, is Libra. So the Hiram Abiff ritual is done under Libra. The scales, the symbol of the equinox. George Floyd's birthday, October 14th, makes him a Libra. That is why he was picked for this. Remember, the ritual is all about the setting sun. It's about the sun setting. On the day that he died in Minneapolis, the sun set at 8:46 because this is a sunset ritual. The knee choke that killed him lasted 8 minutes and 46 seconds. The September 11th terrorist attacks, the opening salvo was at 8:46 a.m. when American Airlines Flight 11 hit the North Tower. The connection between Floyd and 9/11 is through Mercury, which I explained last week. This aspect of the ritual is the autumnal equinox and martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, the 846. If the sunset time and the Floyd's being a Libra aren't enough, then consider how headlines quoted U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi as referring to the killing of George Floyd. Quote, this is from Nancy Pelosi: the martyrdom of George Floyd. That's the clincher. This was on June 8th, while promoting a police reform plan, when she, along with other high-ranking Democrats, performed the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff ritual, genuflection, while adorned in West African kente cloth. This is a September 23rd autumnal equinox ritual. This tells us to look at September 23rd, or the autumnal equinox in general, that area, as a big date. One thing adepts like Aleister Crowley stressed is that when you perform a ritual, the more people that are involved in the ritual, the more powerful the magic. So what they've done is they've got...
Rambo, the music just came on. We'll be right back, everybody. We'll finish right when we come back, Rambo. Thanks, man.
Truth Frequency Radio is your number one source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like Beyond the Veil with Chris and Cherie Geo, X Squared with Brooks Agnew, Paranormal Portal with Brent Thomas, Karanism Raw with Karen and Missa, Fearless with Frank Castle, Strange World with Mark Sargent, The Eye of Ra with Rob Castaldo, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray, Ironworks with Josh Corey, The Kev Baker Show, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117 or call into your favorite show toll free at 833-TFR Live. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Multiple counts. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Atlanta police officer involved in a scuffle with an African-American man last Friday where the man was shot and killed, criminally charged.
Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard Jr. charged the police officer who shot and killed Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta on June 12th with felony murder, as well as 10 other charges. Brooks fell asleep in his car in a Wendy's drive-thru lane on Friday night. After 20 minutes of calm conversation, Brooks agreed to take a sobriety test, which he failed. When the two officers attempted to handcuff him, he began to struggle, seizing one of the officers' tasers and fleeing. At one point, he turned to fire the taser. Former officer Garrett Rolfe, who was terminated after the incident, fired 3 shots, hitting Brooks twice in the back.
Fox's Steve Harrigan, the DA, says the other officer involved in the incident, Devin Brosnan, has agreed to testify against Rolfe, but his attorney denies that. The attorney for Brooks' family says the officers being charged shouldn't be a celebration. Chris Stewart says it never should have happened. This morning, Senate Republicans outlined their plan for police reform, led by South Carolina Republican Tim Scott.
Too often we're having a discussion in this nation about, are you supporting the law enforcement community or are you supporting communities of color? This is a false binary choice.
The Justice Act would give incentives to police agencies that ban chokeholds, create training for de-escalation, and increase record sharing for officers with disciplinary issues.
It is time now to do real legislation that will really change the situation, that meet the needs of the moment, and what Senator Scott is offering is a sham.
House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler. The House has its own measure, which includes limits to qualified immunity for police officers accused of misconduct. America is listening to Fox News.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. We got 2 hours left. We got Rambo, who's in the middle of a brilliant decode, who got interrupted by the commercial break. We'll take a couple calls, and then we should have our guest, Eric 777, with us. So, let me get Rambo back on here. Sorry about the interruption. You got the floor, friend.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd pretty much wrapped it up. I just wanted to point out that these rituals, and Aleister Crowley pointed this out, that the more people that participate in a ritual, the more powerful the magic. Another factor is also the more people that observe the ritual, the more powerful the magic. And that is why they covertly get people to participate in these rituals. You had hundreds, if not millions, probably, of people around the world who have been and are continuing to perform, and they're going to do so right up until the autumnal equinox. They're all participating in the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff ritual. And Nancy Pelosi's words were the clincher. She referred to it as the martyrdom of George Floyd. You never heard of any other victim, and there's been a whole bunch of them being referred to as a martyr. No one said Eric Garner was a martyr. This is the martyrdom of George Floyd, she said. That's what this is. And even if you don't look at it from that standpoint of a Masonic ritual, just the fact genuflecting is an act of submission. So, so I'll leave it at that. And also, I'll leave one thing, September 23rd leaves 99 days in the year, which is a very significant number.
Huge number in the ritual. The other thing I'd say about September 23rd is it's typically the 266th day of the year. Remember when Pope Francis visited Obama, he began his speech on the White House lawn on September 23rd, 9:23, and you can go back and look. He began specifically at 9:23 in the morning. And so 9:23 in the morning on 9:23, that's the 266th day of the year in a non-leap year, just like the year he spoke there. He's the 266th Pope. There's the prophecy of Malachi that the 266th Pope will be the last. But that Jesuit motto, IHS, which you taught us a lot about when you flip it upside down, but that motto, Jesus Hominum Salvator, has the Gematria of 266. That's the Jesuit motto. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit Pope, the 266th Pope. It's 122 the small way, like Pope Francis is 122. He's named after St. Francis of Assisi, just like San Francisco is named after St. Francis of Assisi, which equals 122 as well. Plus it's on the 122nd Meridian West. And yeah, so it fits in because we're also talking about the Jesuits and how they're the overseeing force of all this. And the question is, are the Jesuits behind modern Freemasonry? I think
it's a familiar term, but I'm not that well versed on it.
So it's another society, and I believe it is a secret society. But right now in Capitol Hill, the autonomous zone, because the police department stepped down by the numbers. And people need to be asking, I mean, where did they get all the government road materials to block off the roads and do it just like a government project would? But anyway, there's the building that has the most activity there. There's people climbing literally all over this building. Like it's like adults treating this building like it's a, where you go for recess, the playground. They're treating this building like it's a playground. People are literally climbing all over this building. There's people sitting on the top of it. My friend who went down there said, this is the most interesting building, this Oddfellows Temple. So what was funny is I looked it up, this Oddfellows organization, and right away I said, oh my God, they were established in 1819. I was like, that means they turned 201 years old this year, this big Jesuit number overseeing all this from coronavirus to George Floyd. They turned 201 years old on April 26th. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the building itself in Seattle. The building itself in Seattle is 112 years old, like how the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. And, from their anniversary of establishment to the day the autonomous zone began in Seattle was 43 days later, and George Floyd's 43, and Civil War's 43. And again, just talking about that with today's police officer news and the video of Rayshard Brooks where it becomes violent in the 43rd minute, and NASCAR doing the tribute with car number 43 as they ban the Confederate flag. But yeah, hey Rambo, if you want to help me out, I'm trying to dig up some information on this Oddfellows thing, and I know between the two of us, you're the better researcher. So I'm guessing that this Oddfellows, though, must have some sort of Jesuit history at some point, because again, that's the Jesuits' thing, to infiltrate. And I find it quite strange that that's what oversees this very Jesuit ritual in Seattle, in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, right next to one of the only Jesuit universities in the nation, Seattle University, where Capitol Hill equals Jesuit order. Now you got this 201-year-old fraternity with the biggest building overseeing it. So,
well, yeah, I'll look into it. I'll see what I can come up with.
all right, yeah, I'd appreciate it. I think something's going on there with the Odd Fellows. So, thank you very much, Rambo. Always amazing.
All right, thank you, and have a good rest of the show.
All right, yeah, take care. Yeah, so that was some great additional research. A couple weeks back, we talked about the Hiram Abiff ritual and the kneeling, and Rambo just took it a whole lot further. Shout out to Dr. Savage84. He was the first person I saw make that connection with the Hiram Abiff and kneeling in regards to the way it connected with this incident with George Floyd. So, let me see. The special guest is supposed to be here, but for whatever reason, and I talked to him earlier today, he was supposed to be here. He's MIA right now, so you never know. Life happens. If we get him on later, that's great. But the good news about him not being here is we can take your calls. So, Salt Lake City, you're in line first. What's going on, Salt Lake?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
Real quick with regards, not much. So with regards to Seattle and New York, I think there's a connection there with the Jesuit church. Each city is host to a Jesuit school. And if you look at Fordham, for instance, they're going to turn 179 years old this year. And so that syncs with the 41st, maybe I'm off, but it's the 41st prime number. And a lot of the things that are, and then I looked at the headquarters in Rome for the Jesuit church. It sits on the 41st parallel north. And just a lot of stuff going in there. But
well, anyway, remember this.
On my blog.
In light of the 41s,
yeah.
Remember, Skull and Bones equals 41. Skull and Bones is the Bavarian Illuminati offshoot. And Adam Weishaupt died on the 322nd day of the year, 322. Like how Skull and Bones identifies by 322. And then we know 41 was a huge number in the 9/11 ritual on a date with 41 numerology, where the 41st president, the member of Skull and Bones, George H.W. Bush, 11 years to the day, had talked about a new world order or world freer a terror on September 11th, 1990. Again, 11 years before the Big 11 ritual. And a lot of YouTube videos, for whatever, will title that video 1991, which is false. Because people want to think in intervals of 10 years. It wasn't a 10-year interval. It was an 11-year interval. The master number, like September 11th, was all about 11. But Skull and Bones, 41, big number with them. 41's the 13th prime number. The Catholic Church. Jesus is 12 disciples. Bryant. The sun, the 12 constellations, 13 time. The moon, 13 cycles. Again, the Catholic Church gave us the calendar that's measured with, you know, the light. Essentially the life before and after Jesus Christ, so 13.
Well, real quick though, when it comes to the cover of your book, I think going for simplistic end style, I would go with the inverted 77, because if you look at it, you know, there's a lot of 77 with Flight 77 and whatnot, 77th Meridian West, and but also when it looks like a 1, 1, and a 0 with the coronavirus ball,
right?
And each building was 110 stories tall, so I think it fits in perfectly, and if the theme is going to be focused on Jesuits, why not go with their color scheme?
And but, you want to know what's funny?
Yeah,
exactly. That's why I really like this cover, the 110 and 77. Everybody can look this up right now, what the New York Times reported on March 19th about the Crimson Contagion pandemic simulation of 2019. The simulation, 110 million people are infected and 7.7 million are hospitalized. And again, 110, 77, just the same numbers again and again, from 9/11 to coronavirus. And yeah, it is cleverly encoded on this this cover, so that's why I like it too.
Yeah, it's simple, right to the point. But anyway, I want you to get to the next other people before you get to your get to your guest.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Zach.
All right, yeah, you have a good night.
Okay.
I'll say for another 110 and 77, remember, Minnesota's 110, police officers 77. What are the odds? What are the odds? George Floyd 119, 8:46 a.m. at the World Trade Centers, 8 minutes and 46 seconds on the All right, let me find that next caller here. Trying to troubleshoot a problem real quick. Looks like we still don't have our guest. It is Pennsylvania next. What's going on, Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania?
Hey, Jack, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I want to give you a special shout out and give Rambo a special shout out because y'all do a lot of work. Y'all are like light speed warps for some of us that have been in this knowledge for a while. I learned English in the Sumerian cipher about 10 years ago. But I discovered you about a year ago, and I've been the Flash ever since. I just had a couple of questions. Being as though the going theory is that the Jesuits found, this knowledge, this information at the end of the Crusades. Obviously, they've been using it, roughly ever since. Do you think? Ultimately, I guess it's not too important, but do you think that's what they're using these quantum computers for? Because I've been living this. I know you live it. So, there's entirely too many notebooks. I can't think of a computer program that would give you that many circles with that many bars, maybe Excel, but what are they using? Because no one knows, this person fits this and this person fits that. There has to be an algorithm somewhere.
I agree, and it is a big question, and I've wondered the same thing with quantum computers. I mean, they have all sorts of capabilities, so the things we're talking about are, easily within the realm of capability from what they describe quantum computers are all about. Again, I think in light of what we're exposing and what's going on and how big it is and how systematic it is and how nonstop it is day after day, I think we just have to be really open-minded about ultimately what is controlling this. Some people are absolutely certain it's this or that. I don't contend to know for sure what's at the top, but as sick as the agenda is, and again, I don't know if you heard what I said about 20 minutes ago, but I'm holding this secret inside that somebody gave to me, and I know that this person's reliable. They told me something that is very depressing about what's going on right now in the hospitals with just what's going on right now, man.
Very good idea.
And this, you guys, we are living in an agenda where they are really getting rid of people right now. That's all I'm going to say. They are really getting rid of people. I've been wondering where the hell all the homeless people are in Seattle. I think they're essentially fertilizer at this point. I think quietly people are really being eliminated right now. And a lot of us don't even, it's happening under the rug. It's not being reported. It's out of sight, out of mind. I want to know where all the homeless people are in Seattle. And what I learned today, I just said, I think this is what they're doing, and this is what I've been feeling that they're doing. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's like they're not even human.
That same issue in South Carolina.
What I'm saying is, it's like the people who...
South Carolina has a large...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. South Carolina has a large, especially Columbia, has a large homeless population that has vanished, and no one's saying anything about it.
And it's all over the country, I think. I think this is going on all over right now. I think there is a very sick, sinister agenda. And again, those of us, even the information that I'm exposing and trying to decode to help people break out of the matrix, still pretty much the only information I really have in this world outside of what happens in my own circle is what I get from you guys when I'm on here and what's coming through the mainstream. Everything else happening in the world, unless I have somebody who can tell me, I don't know. So... But again, there's just so much darkness right now, and it just has me just going like, God, is this thing that's doing this even human? I mean, if it is just like straight sociopath, as bad as it gets. So
it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Last point, and I'll go. Have you actually watched or done any decoding on the TV show Watchmen?
So I'm aware of that show, and I know it begins with the Tulsa race riots, and so that's a big part of the storyline. Because I remember I covered that show, like somebody told me it was coming out, and I did a decode on it. I need to go back and look at it. But yeah, no, I still need. I'm thinking about. I have so much for the book right now. That's one more thing I'm thinking about looking into to add to the predictive programming chapter. Do you have anything on it?
I was a big fan of the comic growing up. I watched the movie. This show, I don't know if you remember a TV show called Lost.
Oh yeah, I remember Lost.
The person who, okay, excellent. The person who wrote and directed this show is Damon Lindelof. He's Jewish. Not that that's good or bad, but he's excellent when it comes to presenting ideas. So one thing about The Watchmen is when it was in the comic, racism had absolutely nothing to do with it. It was just about superheroes and the idea of secret identities and wearing masks. Also understand that Alan Moore, who wrote it, who wants absolutely nothing to do with it, is a master occult magus, or whatever term, he likes to be called. So when Damon Lindelof did this show, first and foremost, it's 9 episodes. And, we know 9 is completion. But the show, I don't want to spoil it for you. I really don't. But the show is literally all about right now. The only thing I can think of that even comes close is like The Dark Knight Rises. Uh-huh. But this goes so much into detail, even down to how there's always been a war between the KKK whites and the so-called fake Jewish whites. It goes into detail on that very hard. It goes into detail on China. Literally every single scene is about predictive programming. I would highly recommend you and or Rambo take a look at that because it's 9 hours, it's 9 episodes. But what you're going to get from that is going to blow your mind.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
Okay. I think what I'll do is...
Along with this...
I'll do it. I'll figure out a way to make the time. I appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate you, man. I'm going to go back to listening. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Great call. All right. Let's go out to the gentleman in New York. How are you today, friend?
Hey, Brother Zach, how you feeling?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Another day in paradise. I got the tag team here. We'll start with Big D. All right, hey, brother, we'll talk about this new bomb, the RX-9. Have you heard about the RX-9 missile?
No, RX-9 I have not.
Okay, I'm going to go right into it. First off, it's a missile that instead of exploding, there's 6 blades that right before it impacts, it opens up on 6 sides. So basically, it's slice and dice, like you're chopping tomatoes. Just whatever it hits, a car, a tank, it's just going to slice everything inside without exploding. So that way they can kill, quote unquote terrorists without, blowing up people next to them. The point is, of course, we know what 6-pointed star is. And so basically, you have a missile that right before it kills you in the shape of a Star of David. And of course, in the story, they had a Jewish person of the Defense Force talking about how humane it is. So in the story, they called it a flying Ginsu. Flying Ginsu comes out to 62. So 62, we know, is the reverse of God, with Satan. Ninja comes out to 21 and 33. And obviously 33 Masonry and 21. Saturn Ninja Bomb, which they called it in the article. Ninja Bomb comes out to, hold on. No, that one, I'm sorry, I'm passing that one. And Star of David obviously comes out to 119. And 47, obviously 47, the year Israel became its own state, right? And Star of David 119 in reverse, you got obviously 9/11. And I want to tie in also with Antifa coming out to 111 and 39, both huge numbers for New York. So those are the things I want to talk about with the missile. About the Richard was talking about with Hiram. The 2 things, when they pulled them up, every grip they used the first degree grip and the second degree grip, and they couldn't get the body up because the skin was coming off the flesh of the body. So the only grip they were able to use was a lion's paw, which I'm sure you've heard of that. So that grip, that's how they were able to pull the body up. But the phrase is mahabone, which M-A-H-A-B-O-N-E, which is not supposed to be said unless you're in the 5 points of fellowship, which is foot to foot, knee to knee, breast to breast, hand to back, and mouth to ear. And the RX-9 missile, if you type in RX and the number 9 missile, comes out to 56, which obviously you're talking about 56 tying into everything. So that's my decode on the missile and tying into a masonry. And the last thing I'll say about masonry is I work for the VA, and there was a new program we all had to do last week, mandatory. And it was called the 357 program. So, of course, 357, you have the 46th problem of Euclid, and masonry uses 357. Also, in the 357 program is about making the VA better for veterans. The first part is the 3 stands for the 3 pillars. And literally, I'm reading this and going, are we joining masonry again? You know? And so this is actually a VA program called, and the 357 was in it. And the first part is the 3 pillars, and obviously the 3 pillars of masonry with strength and wisdom, etc. And the woman that does the class in the video you have to watch, she's wearing all black like a robe, but she had this large like pendant on her shirt with a triangle and a circle above it. And just look up triangle and circle as far as occult symbols. So my point being is, I work for the government, and everything all ties together. It's all one and the same. Whether you want to call it masonry or Jesuits or the Jews running the banks, it's all, to me, one big conglomerate, and they're all working hand to hand together, and that's why they keep the people separate. Oh, with Floyd and the white cop, too, it's very eerily similar to the black and white tile. You have the white tile and the black tile, so you have a white officer on top of a black man. It, to me, also represents the black and white tile floor. I'll leave it on that, brother, and going right to Johnny's stash.
Real quick, yeah, Big D was telling me about what's going on in the hospital there, and it's just deplorable what's going on, bro. That they are treating these people inhumanely. You know, there's no help at all. There's these people doing nothing for these poor people that are suffering. It's psychopathic behavior. It's really very dark. But real quick, what about the book? How do we make it out with the book? What's the date that you might have this ready, my friend?
The book is great. I thought I was going to be done by about today, but I need a little bit more time. I'm not quite there, but I'm very close. So very soon.
Good. All right, and real quick, you know, looking forward to hear that guest again. The one question that I would ask him, you know, he kind of said something that kind of didn't sit right with me. He kind of said that good old Uncle Joe, meaning Joe Stalin, was kind of anti-Semitic. Then he said that the Jesuits wrote the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. Way before there was Christianity or the Catholic Church, there was these menace, or the Merchants of Venice. We have, you know, like a two-headed monster, and I would call them the Jesuits and the Synagogue of Satan, the fake Jews, and they're running the show together.
Well, look at that.
Man.
That's what I'm going to ask him about too, if we can get him on today. And so far, he has Luther and his movement. So he's speaking out against these two groups within the Catholic Church. An order is formed that's Catholic and Jewish, and that's the Jesuits. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's simple. I let him go.
Exactly.
I let him go on that last time, but I wanted to ask him about it today to see what his take is on that. And he does really good research, but something I've noticed researching the Jesuits is that almost... we'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight. Commercials here.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation, a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records, remove negative energy attachments from your astral body, and start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state, manifest new and exciting experiences, re-energize your life, and build inspiring connections with others in our community.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Live Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
We exist in the security and comfort of our worlds. Paved paths, lights, and manicured lawns give us peace of mind that our world has been tamed, and we are its master. But other worlds exist on the edge of our sight. On the edge of our awareness, the shadows move. The woods is filled with the unblinking eyes of the nightmares our ancestors warned us about. Some of us have stumbled into these forgotten realms, whether on purpose or completely by surprise. I'm Brent Thomas. Join us on the Paranormal Portal Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time as we journey into the world of the paranormal phenomenon.
Enter the Paranormal Portal if you dare.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. We got interrupted by the commercial break. Let me go back out to the gentleman in New York and let them finish their thought here. All right, if I can click the right buttons. Here we go. All right.
We're back. Yeah, great show, Zach. Great work. I mean, your work is tireless. And I love how you expose it all. And I just want to make sure that we, like, I remember I was the guy that told you about the Jews and their lies. You were unfamiliar with that book. And very interesting what Martin Luther did, you know, as he basically exposed that half of the equation. Because I truly believe that they're working together, you know, at this point, you know.
Well, through the Jesuits.
I
was going to say, through the Jesuit history, it's documented that the first superior general of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, some people say he's Jewish, you can't say for sure, but the second guy who replaced him, Diego Lainez, who he founded the order with, he was Jewish. So there's been Jewish roots in the Jesuits since the beginning.
And I know who came first, you know what I'm saying? And there's no doubt that the Catholic and the Jesuits have an immense amount of power and pull, but we know, you know, who came first and probably who infiltrated who first. So, I mean, that's just my take on it, but it's just my take, and there's many takes on it. But I love the guy's research. He was brilliant in bringing this stuff out. And obviously, there's coding up and down all around. But I'll leave it with that, brother. You be well, and look forward to the rest of the show. And, of course, Rambo, great decoding as well. I had read that blog post. So, brother, many blessings and peace to you and your family, brother.
I appreciate it. I just want to tell you one more thing before we got interrupted by the break. What I was saying is, in the time I've been doing more and more research about the Jesuits, I noticed a lot of people who've written about the Jesuits, they'll say in their research that throughout history, the Jesuits have done things that make it look like Jews were responsible, creating anti-Semitism. And this has been stated in a number of ways from a whole bunch of different things I've researched. So I'm thinking because Eric researches the Jesuits, he's reading this same stuff, and maybe he's getting persuaded by it that is the way it is. And maybe sometimes it has been that way. Because, it's just like, it's like we see, there's these Jewish actors who end up dead in these murder rituals by the numbers too. So, I mean, even Jews are casualties in this thing. So to say, you have these Jews within Jesuits, maybe at some point they were like, okay, these other Jews over here, we will use them as the scapegoat or whatever. So I think that's why he had the perspective he had, but I wanted to ask him about that same thing tonight, so I'm hoping we'll get him on here.
Oh, well, hopefully, and continue the great work, brother. Look forward to that book and what's coming next. So just keep your peace, brother, and I love the work, and I love your passion and your drive. So
All
keep
right.
exposing these evildoers, brother.
I will.
Peace.
I will. Thank you, and thanks for always tuning in, man. You have a good night.
All right,
All right, take care. You guys, again, this week I picked up a pack of tarot cards. I've never owned tarot cards in my life, and I was aware of them for a long time. I mean, I've mentioned them in my first book, but I've never actually had them in my hands. I've just always looked at the screen, and there's just something more about having stuff in your hands. And when I just picked them up and just sorted through the cards, and when I got to 19 and 20 and 21, I was like, oh my God. I just want to make this point again. So the 19th card of the tarot deck is the Sun card. And remember, 19-year cycles on the Gregorian calendar. Chaos 19. Every 19 years, the moon is in the same place in the sky that it was 19 years earlier. So there's this relationship between the sun and the moon in 19 years. So the sun is 19. So there's that. And then the 20th card is what really made my, just holding my hands and looking at it, I was like, I don't know why this didn't dawn on me before. If it did, I forgot about it. But when I looked at the 20th card, I was just like, look at that. And the 20th card is judgment. And of course, the word judge is 20. The word time is 20. The word gavel is 20. Think about it. The judge with the gavel sentencing you to your amount of time for punishment. Judge, gavel, time, they're all 20. The word tarot's 20. The word cross. And you got the, what is that? St. George's cross on there, which is a lot like the Templar cross. Cross equals 20 as well. The time used to symbolize the 4 seasons by the pagans. You got the trumpet being blown. You got the trumpence ticket. You got the angel Moroni, the trump falling out of its hands this year on the 78th day of the year when Moroni's 78 in Salt Lake City. All that stuff we covered then on March 18th. That huge ritual. Right after the announcement of the actor who'd starred in the, what was the name of the movie he starred in? It was about Revelation, and we were talking about, just at that time, Revelation, the trumpets, the 7 angels, the plague. So anyway, the judgment card, 20, the Trump president. It's something else. And then the next card after that's the 21st card, and it's the world. And, we're in the 21st century. Jesuit equals 20, 21. 21st century Jesuit 21, Agenda 21. The World Economic Forum set the event for the beginning of January 2021, the Great Reset. How it's time to make this push for the environment, for the world in 2021, and the world card is 21. And again, this whole thing's a Jesuit agenda. Event 201 was sponsored by the World Economic Forum, who's now scheduling this. And just how it's all synced up with 19 years ago, 9/11, and It's just undeniable what they're doing. Again, Event 201. All about the Jesuits. The Jesuit Order 201, Ignatius of Loyola 201, that's the founder of the Jesuits. You have Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201, that's the name of Pope Francis, who's the first Jesuit Pope. Again, the Jesuits were saved by Catherine the Great, when she let 201 Jesuits carry on after the Pope banned the Jesuits because they were creating all this negative attention for the Catholic Church. And now they have a new show on Hulu about Catherine the Great, which has her flipping off the person who looks at the movie poster. And I learned something about that. You know what? Let me just show you something about the middle finger that I learned today. I always knew the middle finger meant F you, but I learned something more interesting. So, again, if you missed the video I did on this Catherine the Great Hulu thing, check it out. But here's one thing I didn't talk about in that video. This was passed on in a comment. For a palm reader, the middle finger is considered your Saturn finger. And remember, Saturn's the keeper of time, connected to judgment. Wuhan coronavirus equals 93, like Saturn. But the Saturn finger, it also has this other name, and I might be saying it wrong, but it looks like something like Madhima, something like that. Madhyama, whatever it is. The gematria is 42, like Saturn, like Jesuit, right? And this woman that this show's about, she saved the Jesuits. And I looked at what day she became in control of Russia. It was when her husband died on July 17th. A date written 17/7, like 177. The Jesuit Order equals 177. New World Order 177. Talk about this with JFK's assassination. Big Jesuit theme there. JFK died 177 days after his birthday. JFK, the only Catholic president to date, he died in the 187th year of the nation's existence. Jesuit Order equals, Society of Jesus equals 187, just like Washington, D.C., where the Jesuit University Georgetown is. But yeah, the Saturn finger, and I was like, wow, I did not know that. I need to look more into palm reading. See, just all this occult knowledge, just stuff that you don't, I mean, it's there. It's like we've always known there's palm readers, but in the 7 years I've done this, I've never looked into palm reading. And perhaps there's a lot more important information there. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Wanted to share that with you. And again, if you missed the video I did on this, definitely check it out. So that said, let's go back to the callers. And yeah, it looks like we're still missing our guest. I don't know why. I hope he's okay. He was excited about coming on. At least that's what he told me. So, maybe he's having maybe his internet went out all of a sudden, or he's having a power outage. That is how my thing started here. I was about to go on, and then the internet disconnected. I was like, are you kidding me? Right as the show's about to start? Oh, man. Okay, let's go out to Erie, Pennsylvania. What's going on, Erie? Erie?
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Hey, yeah, I'm just mainly just listening. For one, I just wanted to remind everyone to subscribe over to Simple Truth TV because, of course, he got deleted. And I sent you an email because I revisited the Trump phone call on 9/11. He called into what is it, WWOR News or something?
Right.
And I was listening to, and at the end, he made sure to mention that he had an insurance company that was on the 102nd floor. Of course, he didn't know who was there or anything about the company, but he did know that it was on the 102nd floor. And then, of course, this was right after he got asked about, because he was thinking about running that year and if he was president, what he would do. And it's actually a pretty interesting phone call. So I emailed it to you just to revisit it before, it's like 10 minutes before you write your book. But, and then after that, he talks about Morgan Stanley, how they had 50 companies or 50 floors and it was gone. And I looked at Morgan Stanley's Gematria, and of course that's 56 and 70 like coronavirus. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But
It is.
That's mainly it.
So what Trump was saying, but he didn't have any information, just talking about the 102nd floor?
Yeah, and what's it, because the question the guy asked was like nothing about it. It was about the fallout from the years to come, and his answer to the question started out with him mentioning that he had an insurance company that was on the 102nd floor, and how it's gone, and no information about it if anyone was there, but he didn't know what floor it was on. So it's towards the end, and it's right after he asked the question about what's the fallout in the years to come, and he brings that up, and then Morgan Stanley of all companies, and they have a Gematria of 56 and 187 and 70. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. You might want to revisit that before you button up your book.
Well, it's a great find, because again, they said the 9/11 attack lasted 102 minutes, and in Jewish Gematria, Al Qaeda's 102.
Right.
So Trump's, I do see this story. So this is from way back then, September. This is back then, back when it happened that he said this.
Yep, that very day. Yeah.
It is. It's here.
I emailed you the video, so it'll be in your email. Just look for Jared BLY and.
Yeah. I have a really quick blurb about 102 in the book, where I bring up 9/11 in 102 minutes and the movie 102 Minutes That Changed the World. I'll go back, and that's the hard thing, because as I write the book, I'll write things in there, and then I'll be like, well, maybe it's just overkill. Maybe there's already too many examples. But no, that's a really good, because I do talk about Trump, so maybe I'll figure out a way to go back and sneak in that Trump 102 thing. Yeah.
And if you and listening to that again, like pretty much he's. Everything he says in that phone, I heard that phone call before, but really listening to that phone call, he pretty much says everything you need to know about it, through, how, a plane couldn't go through, the steel, and how, there had to be explosives too, and, just, how there's going to be a hard line, they already know, just everything in it was, so. It's definitely worth a revisit, so I just want to throw that up there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, great find. Never knew that one.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks, man. Yeah, like I always say, there's always more. 102 Minutes That Changed America. That's the movie about 9/11. Yeah, you can look it up. There's a quote. Donald Trump talking September 11, 2001. He had an insurance building on the 102nd floor. What's going on, Texas?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, man.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah. You can now?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay. A couple of things, just real quick. A guy who wants to keep a secret from you, from not, revealing something, they're trying to social engineer you. You should have asked them.
Trust me, they're not. I know this person very well. They're not. They confided something in me, but it's just like.
You should tell them.
No, trust me, man. It's not like that. It's like, I know this person very well. I probably trust this person as much as anybody in this world.
Is what they're saying in the public domain? Okay, you got to ask yourself that.
What they're saying is something they witnessed with their own eyes that took place in a medical building.
Okay, so it's a personal eyewitness account. Okay, that's different. You got to say that up front. That's different. Okay.
Right.
That's okay. Yeah, that's different. Okay, I understand. Okay, that's the full context there.
I'll be real vague about things. Somewhere in a medical building, somewhere in this world, there was somebody who was brought in.
Okay.
Who had all sorts of problems with them. They were found essentially passed out in a field, and it turned out that they were an illegal immigrant, and they'd been working in a field, and they nursed this person back to health, but then they found out that they couldn't find out anyone this person was attached to. No family, where they're from, if they're American citizen. So when the person gets all better and they figure out that they don't know who this person is or where they came from, and there's probably nowhere to get any type of payment. All of a sudden, somebody who worked there, after this person was all healthy and everything was all good with them, and they were ready to discharge this person, they come in, and I'll just leave it up to people's imagination what it said on their report when all of a sudden they just vanished. So.
COVID-19.
they became part of a statistic of this deadly virus out there, this totally healthy person that was nursed back to health that was found in the middle of the field. So, you know.
Yeah, we know that's going on. We know that's going on.
Well, you know,
that's
QAnon's telling all the Trump people that, you know, QAnon's quietly under the rug, like getting people, bad people in the world, getting all these bad people. Who are the bad people? Could they maybe even be some of the people who came over here to work in a field?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Trump is part of it because he's in violation of 42 USC 1983. Okay, as is all other oath-bound United States American politicians who violated that very oath. That's deprivation of civil rights. It means, you know, people who can't peacefully assemble, go to church, other normal things that they could do before COVID-19.
Right.
So anybody who's on that Trump bandwagon is an idiot. Because they all violated their constituted oaths.
I don't disagree.
But anyway, I just wanted to, you know, if it's an eyewitness account, okay, yeah, that's something, you know, you didn't relay that, or, you know, or initially when you said that, so I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, that's no, that's it, man. Thanks for the you know, pickup.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, let's go out to Milwaukee.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Zach, I think I found a very interesting thing for you to look up here. It's called the Project BioShield Act.
The what?
It's got some 201s in it. It's called the Project BioShield Act. It was signed by Bush in 2004 and re-signed by Obama the day that Pope Francis became the Pope on March 13th, 2013.
Project BioShield.
There's some fun numbers. Yeah, the Project BioShield Act. BioShield Act equals 112. The year the presidential election was in 2004, which was on November 2nd.
Okay.
Here's a couple more things with this. While you're probably looking at that, I'll pull up some other stuff about Pope Francis here. So, yeah, that came out in November 2nd, 2004 during the presidential election, which BioShield Act equals 112. But there's a 201 in there. Let me get back to that. The USC sections amend Chapter 6A, Section 201. The title's amended is 42 for public health and social welfare. And then the statutes at large is a 118 statute. And it was introduced at the Senate on March 11th of 2003. So it was a 103.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Like, there might be some more numbers if you want to quickly look at that, see if you see something that I don't see. But it's about vaccines, and what was that? John Hopkins has a lot to do with this Project BioShield Act.
Okay, and then what was the March 11th thing again?
March 11th is of 2003, was introduced in the Senate by Judd Gregg, Juddgregg.
Oh, okay, so it's part of that BioShield Act as well. Okay, I see.
Yep. And yeah, it was signed by George W. Bush on July 21st, 2004, and then re-signed by Obama March 13th, 2013, the day that Pope Francis became the Pope.
Very interesting. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
All right, take care, man. Thank you. All right, let's go out to Nebraska. What's going on, Nebraska?
What's going on, Zach? Can you hear me?
I hear you. What's up, man?
Nothing much. I just was looking ahead and some 64-44 dates for the upcoming year, because I think tomorrow is one of those dates. And I seen there's a NASCAR race on one of the dates, August 16th. The race is in New York at the Glen Watkins race. And I looked through all the racers' names. There's like 40 participants. Only 3 of them that I could see have like a 44 or a 64 name. Gematria Connection. That would be BJ McLeod, Jimmy Johnson, and Daniel Suarez. And actually, BJ McLeod has a 64 and a 44 name, Gematria Connection. So then I looked through all the accidents where a racer died, like in a NASCAR event where they died on track. There's 28 so far, and I thought that was interesting because kill equals 28 as well. And out of the 28, there's only like maybe 7 or 8 of them that have a 44-day numerology. So it's not like they always do this around this time, but I just figured I'd go ahead and look anyway. And there are some pretty interesting connections as far as the racers' birthdays and things like that. Daniel Suarez, his birthday is January 7th. That is 222 days from August 16th. Thought that was interesting with the times we're in. The Wuhan coronavirus is going to 222. That's also 144 days from his next upcoming birthday, and that's a big time number. Jimmy Johnson, his birthday is September 17th. That is 4 weeks and 4 days until his next upcoming birthday from August 16th. That's also, 44 kill number. It's also 33 days until his next birthday as well, if you include the end date. 33, like Christ, crucifixion, all the big 33 number. And I thought it was also interesting, a year from his upcoming birthday this year, so his birthday in 2021, it's a span of 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day from the race, and New York equals 111, where the race is at. And BJ McLeod, his birthday, 273 days from his last birthday, November 17th. I can't remember the number with 273, but I've been seeing that number pop up a lot in the last few weeks and months. It's also going to be 93 days from his next birthday, the big Saturn number. And it's also 8 months and 30 days from his last birthday, 83, murder number. So just a few things that I thought were interesting. And the last date where a racer died on track was Dale Earnhardt's death, which was in 2001, 19 years ago. So they were doing the 19-year time cycle, and we're seeing things play out 19 years later. I also thought it was interesting that he died February 18th. That can be written like 18/2 or 182, and year of the rat equals 182, and we are in the year of the rat right now. And also, it's a total span of 7,120 days from Dale Earnhardt's death to the race date. 7120 is what that looks like, and I thought that was interesting because...
We'll be right back, everybody. Commercials. Time, man.
Truth Frequency Radio is your #1 source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like The Christopher Everard Show, The Covert Report with Susan Lindauer, Enemy Within Radio with Tom Barnes, Freaky Friday with The Woo Crew, The Gematria Effect with Zachary Hubbard, America's Evil Genius with Travis Cook, Phoenix Rising Radio with Phoenix, Quantum Connections with Lucky, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117 or call into your favorite show toll free at 833-TFR-LIVE. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
She's thankful. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The widow of Rayshard Brooks speaking out after charges were filed against the 2 Atlanta police officers involved in a scuffle with him last Friday, where Brooks was fatally shot in the back. Tamika Miller said it was painful to hear what happened in her husband's last moments of life.
I was very hurt. I didn't imagine being there because I don't know what I would have done if I would have seen that for myself. But I felt everything that he felt just by hearing what he went through. And it hurt. It hurt really bad.
Former officer Garrett Rolfe faces felony murder and 10 other charges. The other officer, Devin Brosnan, faces aggravated assault and other crimes. The district attorney's office claims he has agreed to testify against Rolfe, but his attorney denies that. Senate Republicans unveiled their plan for police reform this morning. The Justice Act would give incentives to police agencies that ban chokeholds and create training for de-escalation. The new tell-all book from President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, claims the president pleaded with China's Xi Jinping during a meeting last year to help him win re-election. Special Envoy Robert Lighthizer says that never happened. The Justice Department has sued to block the book's release. The state of Arizona, one of several, seeing a rise in the number of cases of COVID-19, with over 1,800 confirmed cases today and 20 new deaths.
You are most safe at home. If you can't stay home and you go out, you are most safe when you physically distance. And if you do go out, wear a mask.
Governor Doug Ducey, who is now saying mayors will be allowed to require masks in public to their citizens. America is listening to Fox News.
Wherever you are, make it Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority. This code has been compromised.
We're back, Truth Seeker. I just got a comment on YouTube's level of censorship. So, I'm logged into my phone right now through my GematriaEffectNews account, and I'm subscribed to Gematria Effect Sports, which I'm streaming on. And when I click subscriptions, I can't see that any live streams going on from my channel right now. And even when I go up to the thing and scroll through my channels and click on mine, it shows the most recent video on that channel is the one I uploaded earlier today on The Great by Hulu. So even when I click on the channel, but then when I click on the videos button, then I can see that there's a live stream going on. So it's not coming up in my subscriptions, not even coming up when I click on the channel. I have to go all the way into videos to see it. And like I just saw somebody in the chat when I mentioned that, it goes, no, it's fine, I can see it. You guys, you don't understand. Like those comments annoy me, you guys. Think bigger. Who cares if you can see it? Obviously you can. What about the thousands of people right now who are subscribed to the channel who can't? I can't even see it with, I know what's going on and I can't even see it through GematriaEffectNews. So, again, those of you who can see it, I don't know why you guys are chosen within the algorithm to be able to see it, but for almost everybody, it is pretty much impossible to know that this live stream is going on. So for all of you saying, why are there so few people here despite having, being back up to 50,000 subscribers? That's why. This is how YouTube operates, Wake up, you got 2 strikes on 2 videos that there's nothing wrong with that you did months ago, And now you're 1 strike away from having another channel with, I think I'm almost up to 600 videos on GematriaEffectNews, even though the channel hasn't been up that long. Put out a lot of content. So anyway, Nebraska here was finishing up his Decode on this NASCAR event that he's eyeing out. And you want to finish up, man?
Yes, sir. I just have one more point to make, really. It was about the 7,120 days from Dale Earnhardt's death to the upcoming race, 7120. I just thought that looked like a code for 2020 because 71 is the 20th prime number. And then, it could be like a code for their next racer they have killed during a race or something like that. And I also thought it was kind of interesting. It has been over 19 years since a racer has died on track. And if you go look through the history of deaths, the span has only been like 2 to 3 years at the most. So, it's been a while as far as the time goes since a racer has died on track. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to set something up like that this year, especially on the 16th of August. And that's pretty much I had about that Decode. There is a cipher that I discovered. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's kind of like a triangular cipher where you take the spot of the letter and you add that up. So D, the 4th letter, you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 to get the value of the cipher. It's called the summation cipher. Or I just ran into it. I was doing some just random studying on the Correll effect or whatever, and I came across that cipher, so I never knew about it, but it's how you can generate big numbers for like smaller words and find connections for littler words, but they have a bigger value. So it's another way to find more connections between words, but definitely thought that was something you might want to look into as well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to email me that cipher, I'd be happy to look at it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Definitely can do that for you, man.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, see you. All right, let's go out. There's 14 people on hold right now. We'll get to all your calls before the end of the show. If you guys can keep it to about 2 minutes, one great thought, we'll get to everybody. Caller?
Hello, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, wow, I believe I got through. So, okay, so I'm gonna start here. I love your work, Zach. I love everything you do, you really changed my life, So basically, I became awoke when, Kobe died and everything. I always knew something was wrong with the world. So it's just a lot I'm about to tell you right now. Okay, so I basically got awoke. Well, I was always woke, but I really found out what's going on because of you, because of Kobe. All right, let me just start over. Ever since Kobe died, my life has been changing, and since the George Floyd thing, I started seeing all my friends on Instagram and stuff post like the wrong information, you know, and I knew this information that you've been saying, so I decided to post it, right? And then ever since then, it's like I've been getting like this really unwanted attention, you know, like before I was really antisocial and like I really didn't have a lot of people, you know, interacting in my life, you know, and I decided to post the truth, you know, and my dad's a gang member, mind you, and he's with all that, you know, evil stuff. So like I started posting this stuff, this Gematria stuff, and it seems like I feel like people know, Zach. I feel like, you hear me?
I hear you. You're saying certain people know in this world, but they don't talk about it. Hello?
Yeah, but like my younger generation, you know, I'm young. I'm only 19 years old, and like ever since I posted this Gematria stuff, and like I feel like I've been getting this really unwanted negative attention, you know, and I've been getting these subliminals ever since then. Like a lot of my so-called friends, you know, or people I was following, they've been changing, you know, their profile pics to, you know, the devil hands, or, you know, them only showing one eye, or like just, it's like I've been seeing change because of what I posted, and like they're not in no way, form, or fashion, you know, a part of it. But it's like, why do you choose to, you know, go that route? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you, like, you're not going to ever make millions like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you, is it to look cool? So basically what I'm trying to say is, do you think I should still, like, I know I'm still going to post this stuff, but I'm getting a lot of unwanted attention. And it's like, okay, so these people do know about this, but it's like, you're not a part of it, you know what I'm saying? So why do you choose to, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure, I do know what you're saying, and what I can say from personal experience is that when I started you know, share about this and post about it online and put it out there, I started getting unwanted attention too, and I had some things happen in my life that were very unfortunate, and I know those things wouldn't have happened if I didn't start doing the work that I was doing. So, I mean, take care of yourself and make sure you're safe, and you want to be comfortable. So I do see what you're saying, but yeah, I wonder sometimes how many people actually know about this and just never say anything about it, and don't like seeing other people talk about it. So
why do they choose? But it's like, you're never going to, like, you know, get the millions like the other people. Like, you're never going to push it like the celebrities, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about my younger generation. Like, they're no way part of it, bro. Like, so why do you choose?
Well, because they're just emulating what they see. They see, you know, these rich people doing this stuff, so they're going to do it.
I understand that, bro, but like, why think like that? Like, why, like?
Because
like,
it's mainstream,
I don't know how to
man. Mainstream. People go with the flow. They're mainstream. That stuff's all mainstream. That's cool in the mainstream.
I understand that, Zach, but I really wish I could dig deeper. I'm trying to find the words, but yeah, I've been basically just. The moral of the story is, ever since I posted, you know, this Gematria stuff, I posted it about like 4 days after the George Floyd thing, because everyone started posting, you know, false information, you know, Black Lives Matter. And I even posted on my Instagram, you know, I posted something really powerful. And I feel like, and it said like, it said, I put hashtag All Lives Matter next to it. And I usually get like, this is just a random thing, but I usually get like 90 to 100 likes, and then on that post I only get, you know, 23 likes, and
because people are under mind control, man. You're not under the same mind control they're all under. Almost everybody's under the same mind control, and the media, the mainstream media, is making it.
They see what I'm posting, Zach. They see what I'm posting, so it's like, why like, I really said a lot of stuff, and I've been saying a lot of stuff on my Instagram, and it's like, the stuff I had, like, why choose that route? Why choose to go that way? Why choose to think like everybody else? Like, why don't you want to be like, is it to look cool? Like, is it to, like, you know what I'm saying, fit
It's
in?
the way humanity
It's like,
is. It's just
crazy.
like when you look up at the air, there's the pack of birds flying together. So it's just the way, it's that group think. It's just the nature of things. And for whatever reason, within nature, it's hard to go against the herd. So you're the black sheep, man. We're the black sheep.
But why am I like this? I'm done, but why am I, like, why are we the truth community? Why do we decide to not go with that? Like, what makes us, pull back? You know what I'm saying? I know it's bad, but, like, why does everybody choose?
Look up the 7 Hermetic Principles. Find that book and read it, because it'll tell you the knowledge is super old. The knowledge is all about how that's the way the world is, that most people are just blind. That's the phrase, the one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind. I mean, most people are just blind to what's in front of their face, spirituality, just everything. So you just get to witness how bizarre it is when your eyes are open.
What's the name of the book?
Look up the 7 Hermetic Principles. Just start to do some research on that. There's a short book. You'll come across it. In it there, it's expressed how, most people don't have eyes to see. That's how it is.
But, I just think it's really crazy. I truly love you, Zach. I love your work. Keep doing what you're doing. I feel like there isn't enough appreciation. Like, I can't give you enough praise, bro. You've really changed my life.
You don't got to give me any praise, man. You're just like me. I was in the same position you were when you were your age. 9/11 happened when I was 18, and I was asking the same question. I was like, why is everyone so blind? I mean, it just was unbelievable to me. So I just hear the same thing in what you're saying. I'm going to keep it moving, man, because there's a bunch of people on hold and not a lot of show left. But stay strong, man, and I appreciate that you share stuff. It takes courage to share. Most people don't have courage either, so you just have qualities that most people don't have.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah? All right, man. Keep up the good work. You have a good night. Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
Sadly, most people, they don't have courage, and they're afraid of being different than everybody else, so they just follow, and they just listen to authority. Because, I mean, that's what happens to us, the whole world. Like, we learn to follow some authority, religious authority, school authority, government authority, news media authority. Some people are following all of those things. Some people are following 1 or 2 of those things. And then some of us are like, I'm not following any of these things. I can think for myself, and this is a bunch of crap. I don't need you to tie my shoes in the morning. Let's go out to Delaware.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it short since there's a lot of people on hold. The next Wednesday, I'll call with a bunch of stuff. But I just want to talk about what's going on with the coronavirus thing. Yeah, like, I remember watching your video about the Event 201 simulation a while back, and I definitely feel as if, that's truly going on, because this whole thing going on to me, it seems like there's just somebody just seems fake to me. Like, it just seems fake to me. Like, there's this, I don't know, because I was talking to one of my relatives today, and he's a part of the club, if you know what I mean. He's a part of the Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite Masonry Club, and he's been a Mason ever since I was a little boy. He's 88 years old right now, but long story short, he was just telling me about, like, what's going on is basically, like, killing off people who have, like, all these pension plans and people who have retirement plans and Social Security. And he was even talking to me about the Georgia Guidestones, too, talking about how, they want to wipe out a certain population of humanity.
Right.
Yeah, this whole thing going on is just. Yeah, I was going to ask you about your book. Yeah, about your new book coming out, because I want to buy some copies of it so I can start, handing them out and, like, spreading the word, like, because, like, shit's just getting crazy, man. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I just want to start talking to people, hitting the pavement just like you, like, spreading the word. And I want to buy, like, at least, like, 10 copies of your new book if I can.
Okay, I'm almost done, so I'll be able to get all the pricing perfect. And for all of you guys who pre-order it and stuff and send in money, I'll make sure that for your pre-order, like people are pre-ordering the book at $15, and if I can, I'm gonna send them 2 copies. If I can afford to send somebody 2 copies at $15 with the shipping and everything, I'm gonna do it. So I'll be in contact with you, man. I'll get you the cheapest rate possible once I get them printed.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I called in late. Yeah, I wanted to. I want to talk some more, but yeah, I'll call next Wednesday. Calling earlier so that I can talk longer.
All right, I look forward to it, man. You have a good week.
You too.
All right, take care. All right, let's go out to Washington, D.C.
Yo. That.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yo. Okay. Trump using 2 hands to lift a glass of water. Water as time. Trump's a tranny, by the way. The law of inversion, Aleister Crowley. Then we got Lucius Trust. In God We, 33, Satanic Corporation. Founded by Alice Bailey, which is AB 12, completion of time. Then we got playing cards related to the tarot deck. Then we got Watermelon Love, Code 54. Harry Styles video, They Live. John Carpenter, Channel 54. Freemason, Secret Society. Sex Magic, Aleister Crowley, Egyptian deities, 9 of them, Adam, ATUM, and ATOM. Then we got 9/11, 3 Faces in the Smoke, Druid Sorcery. Then we got the Sodomite Code, Back to the Future, 33 Degrees, Robert Zemeckis. Then we got the Planetary Cellular Earth. Then we got the Cloning Robot, Synthetics, Matrix. And then we got the All Debt is Collected Illegally Through the Debt Slavery Matrix. It's all on the $1 bill, the 2 eyes. The owl, the WHO, the WHO organization, the band, the Who. Then we got on the dollar bill, we got the pyramid on the left eye, on the right eye, we got it X'd out. Then we got COVID-19. COVID, C is 3 points on the triangle. Then we got Ovid is Greek for sheep. Then we got 19 and Roman is XIX, which means that your eyes are X'd out. So it's all predictive programmed through the playbook of the King James Bible, and then they're playing it out. We're at Revelation 19. It's the 19 code. A lot of juicy topics there, and I just wanted to get them all out there. I know you get a lot of trolls, and you know I've been sort of following you for a while. This is the first live stream that I've watched because you've been censored. But yeah, back to the Trump using 2 hands to lift a glass of water. Okay, water as time. Okay, so time, water is time. 13 is mastery of time. 12 is completion of time. Under the Gregorian time scale, you got the 12, 12, 60, 60. So you got 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. Hour is a inversion sort of Horus. Okay, and then because you got Horus and Set, the death of Horus, the removal of the eye. When Jesus Christ returns, all eyes will see the King. Until then, they will all be blinded, and they are sheep. They are all sheep, so they're getting their eyes X'd out. Sheep led to the slaughter. Then we got the Aleister Crowley sex magic rituals. What they've been doing is Code 54, Watermelon Love. Okay, there's a Harry Styles music video called Watermelon Love, and it's all about the pedivore culture, where they're actually eating infants. Okay, these are satanic pedivores, the highest level. They control the satanic debt system. When you have so America is in a God We Trust. It's a trust corporation that's connected to Lucius Trust. So We stands for 33, the W and the E. That's a 3 and a 3. That's the 1/3 of the fallen angel. Also 9 is a 3 to the 3rd power, I guess. 3 times 3. No, not 3 to the 3rd power. But yeah, 3 to the 3rd power is going to be 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is the number of Satan. Then you got 666. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 1 and 8, or 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. And it's all, just like you say, it's all Gematria, meaning they're worshiping the Black Kabbalah Cube, which is the stumbling block of Belial, which is the son of Satan. And they're doing some other stuff. I know there's a lot to talk about. I would love to have more time, But you're the best, Zach. I'm so thrilled to be able to share some of this with you and the viewers. So,
well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a
you
lot
get
to
all
look
that?
into. So yeah, interesting perspective. I appreciate it.
Check out Harry Styles' Watermelon Love. Obviously, the watermelon is the flesh of the innocent. Okay, so they're actually cannibore, and also Cain and Abel. You put the names together, you got cannibal. Then you got Trump and Pence. You got that together. You got the trumpet. In the book of Daniel, you got the little horn. The little horn is a trumpet. That's what Trump is. Trump is also a satanic. They're all satanic inverted. This is the law of Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley is actually Barbara Bush. Okay, that's why she's always wearing the pearl necklace. They're extremely perverted sodomites. What brings out the deities of the underworld is excrement and blood. Okay, this is from forced sodomy. Okay, and what happens is then after that, the higher level of Satanism is the necrophilia. Okay, and then there's so much more that I want to give, but I'm just like so stoked to be on the line with people that can actually process some of this info, because everybody that I talk to, like literally, they look like they get super triggered, with this stuff. But yeah, the Harry Styles Watermelon Love. Harry Styles is probably inverted as well, as they all are, just like Justin Bieber, the Kardashians, whatever. They're all inverted witches. And then the sorcerers of the scriptures are also the pharmacopoeia of these hospitals. And I'm sure they're killing off all these homeless people. This is the first wave, okay? Because the homeless people would have been the ones that would be able to speak out, right? And they've been bringing in the military. So what they've done is, after they made it a state of emergency, they gave authority over to Gaynor. I don't know if that name links in Gematria, because I'm not good at that. I'm not very good at that, but Gaynor is the head of FEMA. And just like with the Chet Hanks is also inverted, so that's a female to male. And Chet Hanks is mocking everyone about the FEMA camps. There's a movie called Gritty State, and in Gritty State, the trailer is actually legitimate, and it points out the Freemason executioner at the FEMA camps, right, which are going to be the martial law or the Walmart. And that family goes back to the Planned Parenthood and Bill Gates, who's also inverted, Satanist, from the Illuminati bloodlines. Then there's so much more. There's a solar eclipse. We live inside of a cellular Earth. It goes deep, man. So if you ever have more time, man, I would love to get in deeper and also, hear what you have to say. But these are just some topics that I just had to throw out there. I know there's, not enough time. But praise Jesus Christ, praise Radomir, the joy of the world. You are saying, you're not afraid of anything except for you just want the righteousness and the truth. Okay, and that's what's going to get you into heaven. Okay, so God bless, and God bless you, brother. All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for all the information. You have a good night. Okay, next up, Richmond, California. Richmond?
Hey, how's it going, Zach?
Hey, it's going well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh. All right. I just wanted to bring up a thing I saw in the news up here in the Bay Area where it was, they were talking about the Golden State Killer being, they had just caught him 2 years ago, and he was 72 years old, but he's 74 years old this year. And the Golden State Killer started his killing spree back in 1974.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know why. I saw it on the news a couple days ago, and I was just wondering, why did they bring this up? He's 74 years old, and they're about to sentence this man. But I did bring up and just noticed that it was, a lot of 74s this year. Just want to throw that out there.
I appreciate it. It just makes you think. Oakland, California, 74. They lost their basketball this year, starting away because they moved across the bay to San Francisco again, and then they're having a killer season, but not in the right way. But yeah, I'll have to look more into that. I'm sure there's a big ritual there. Killing equals 74. So.
All right. Oh, also, I don't know. It might not connect to anything, but with the 846, there is 86,400 seconds in a day. And it was something that was really interesting about that, where people were talking about if you had a bank account and you had 8,000,
for $86,400 deposited in it each day, but if you didn't use that money, it would disappear. What would you do with it? It was kind of like the importance of time sort of a thing.
Interesting. We're going to commercial right now. It's about to go mute. It's about to go mute. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again, so I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural, and that's what I like about it. I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. I am a healthy person to begin with, but it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy, and I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code TALK to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code TALK.
Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death. This is Uncle Walt from the Ironworks. Josh, Corey, and I have chosen to look at life with no fear. No fear of the unknown. No fear of questions about the supposedly well-known. No fear of ridicule for thinking outside the familiar fool's lines. No fear of the boot on the neck of those refusing the party line. No fear of taking on those so convinced of their beliefs they would sooner drink the Kool-Aid than believe they've been fools made. In this world filled with food cattle think, can truth's protective layers be peeled back to show the tender, juicy pink? Are we all just grist for the mill? Souls sold against our will, or is that just how it feels? When you're filled to the rim with trivialities so fear-filled and grim, break clear of the fear right here. Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 a.m. on TFR. Josh and I and you will hammer out the impurities of technology-driven groupthink, fold in a dash of logic, and quench it all with a bit of absurdity. The Ironworks. Break clear of the fear.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. At the beginning of the show, I talked about how on July 9th, O.J. Simpson's birthday, Ford's bringing back the Bronco, of course, reminding of O.J. Simpson and the Bronco chase in the trial of the century. But in light of that being his birthday, July 9th, what else is July 9th is the anniversary of the 14th Amendment, which some historians would tell you that it essentially made everybody in the United States of America a slave. And it was about the freeing of the slaves, but it was tricky. And anyway, slave equals 14. It was the 14th Amendment. But this year, July 9th, will be the 152-year anniversary, 152. And in this recent story of 2 black men being found hung in trees in Southern California, in light of the 152-year anniversary of the 14th Amendment and what it had to do with slavery and the George Floyd ritual and just Confederate flag and just everything that's going on right now, I noticed that one of these men was found May 31st, which in a leap year is the 152nd day of the year. And then the other guy was Robert Fuller, and Robert Fuller equals 152, and he was found in Palmdale, which also equals 152. So his name and location 152, the other guy in the 152nd day of the year. And now they're bringing I was already looking at this, and then the O.J. Simpson story came out, and I was like, okay. What are they trying to do here? So July 9th is definitely a date to keep an eye on. It's Tom Hanks' birthday. It's Dean Koontz's birthday. Remember how Dean Koontz wrote the 1981 novel Eyes of Darkness about this conspiracy virus called the Wuhan 400? And remember what happened last year that was 400? We had the 400-year anniversary of slaves arriving in America, which connects to the prophecy from Acts. And then after those 400 years are up, the nation's punished. And then Tom Hanks was the first celebrity with the virus. His birthday is July 9th. They say he's Melungeon. If you're Melungeon, you look white, but you have African ancestry. So apparently Tom Hanks has African ancestry. Maybe that's why he was so fast in Forrest Gump. But anyway, wanted to make that point. And with that said, we'll go back out to the calls. Again, callers, if you guys can try to keep it to one great thought, we can get through a bunch of calls here. Let's start off with New York. What's up, New York?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I really ain't have much to say, but I'm just going to make this quick point. Did you see what Steve Mnuchin said, that he's not going to release the companies that got over the $500 billion? He's not going to release the companies that got it? Did you see that?
Oh, the companies that have gained so much?
Out of the stimulus package for all the companies and stuff.
Oh, right.
At first they said they're going to tell all the companies that got the money, but now they don't want to give up the companies now. Just like you said, a Ponzi scheme from the start with the bankers.
You know what? To think about just how big and sick this whole joke might be, I remember that it was April 7th, 4/7. That was the day Trump fired the guy who was supposed to oversee the management of the trillions of dollars. So they got rid of the guy who was supposed to make sure. So that was April 7th, right? And now the guy who just won the golf tournament, the Charles Schwab, which is an investment thing, the 74th Charles Schwab Challenge on Trump's 74th birthday, that dude's birthday was April 7th. And God, I think that's all part of a big sick joke. It's just amazing how they do it. But
But just think about this, Zach. Just think about this. As the people, we don't want to know what companies got this money. They're not going to let us know. Ain't nobody going to say nothing about it. That's the craziness about it.
But that's how it always is, man. That's how it always is. It was like this after 9/11 with all the spending bills and just like all the nonsense and then saying, oh, we're not going to, oh, that's going to be hush hush. And nobody should ever forget that the day before September 11th, 2001 happened, that was when the defense secretary at the time, Donald Rumsfeld, came out the day before and said the Pentagon was going to have to become very transparent because it had lost $2 trillion. How do you lose $2 trillion? And then once again, $2 trillion. Trump signing off on at least $2 trillion in stimulus, that same number again. It's just, it's crazy, man.
So anytime I see stories like that with these businesses and banks and with Steve Mnuchin, I just think of the Ponzi scheme, just like you said from the start. It's a Ponzi scheme.
They're mocking us, man. Yeah, we're playing with paper money. It's monopoly. It's monopoly.
They need to call these people out for this, man. They need to call people out for just taking out money for all this stupid shit. I'm sorry for cursing, but I just
well, we have to remember, honestly, what we have to remember is the money we have isn't really worth anything. It only has any value because we believe it has value and people will take it in a store. What we really need to do as a people right now is organize and look at who's working against us. And we need to say, look, we're the people of the world. There's a group of like 100 people that have more wealth than all of us combined because they control this world and they screw us and they steal from us. We need to take everything back from them right now. They don't need to be here anymore. And then we'll sort things out. That's what really needs to happen right now. So,
Yeah, one more point for that girl, because every time I think about all this money that these companies get, I always think of that 325 thing. Because the anniversary with that city bank of London or some shit. I always think of that when you brought that up on the 325, when he did this for all the companies and stuff on March 25th, right?
Right. It's all in our face. It's all big banker
That's when he
scam.
did it.
Yep.
And you said the Bank of London is what, 325 years old or something like that?
It's gonna turn 326 in July. Its birthday's July 27th, but right now it's 325. It's 325, and then the big thing went down on 325, and City of London Corporation's 325. Yeah. All right, man.
That's it, Zach. I'm
All right.
going to leave it at that.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, their anniversary, July 27th, is a date to keep an eye on. New Founding Fathers is 277, like 27/7, with the whole purge parallel going on right now, too. Texas.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, how are you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
I'm good. Yeah, when you bring up that, the things that are happening and people seem inhumane or inhuman, and how can they do this?
Right.
You might want to consider that they aren't.
I'm definitely considering that. I know you've been making the case. So.
Yeah, it's a good case to make. People just need to do some research and check it out. Anyway, I just wanted to, I originally called because I couldn't find the TFR live video stream, and until you mentioned that it was on Gematria Effect Sports, but I had been looking for like an hour. And even on TRF, when I went directly to TRF and tried to get on the live stream there, it was not working for me.
Huh.
I could not do it.
Yeah, I got two
And
strikes.
I had to go to an old show and then go to the next previous episode and the next episode and the next episode. And finally, after half an hour of going through episodes, I got to the live stream.
Yeah,
So that was really weird.
It's a weird day. I woke up and I had 2 strikes on the main channel. I had 0 yesterday. They struck 2 videos today. I was finally in the clear now. I got 2 more strikes. And then right as I was supposed to start tonight's show, my internet disconnected right as the show was about to start. So then I had to restart the show. So that's probably why it glitched at the beginning and didn't show up on the TFR website.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, well, I love you and take care, and I'll let another caller get in.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks as always.
Good night.
All right, yeah, have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, and just what she's bringing up, she's always telling me that I need to research more, essentially, these people that are not human. They're shapeshifters. Essentially, they appear as human, but they're not. I'm open to all that. I'm an open-minded person. It entirely could be that. It's just I don't know how to prove that. I don't have any evidence to prove that anyone's a shapeshifter. I know there's YouTube videos out there, but I know that there was a gentleman like back in 2014 and 15 who was purposefully editing and pushing a lot of the shape-shifting stuff. And so I was like, well, God, if he's editing his videos, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that it's not true. I'm entirely open to the possibility that what's going on is not being controlled by human entities, because as sick as it is, it doesn't seem like it is. Let's go out to California. California, what's going on? California? Hello? All right, maybe just listening. All right, let's go out to Connecticut. Connecticut, you're on. Right as I went to them, they disconnected. That's weird. Let me make sure everything's good here. I apologize, Connecticut. If I see you call back in, I'll go right to you. Let's try Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan?
Hello?
Yeah. What's
Hello?
going on? Yeah.
All right. I was calling in to try and get your email. Is it in the thing description? Because I don't see your actual email.
It's GematriaEffectNews at gmail.com, all one word, GematriaEffectNews at gmail.com.
And it's all lowercase?
All lowercase, yeah.
All right, right on.
Yeah, shoot me an email.
All
right, thanks, man.
Appreciate it. I was gonna shoot. Oh yeah, I was shooting you that calendar and these couple books.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will look for that.
All right, bye now.
All right, take care. All right, let me go back to California and try them again. California, can you hear me? Hello?
I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go. All right, appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go out. Let's go out to California again. Another California caller.
Hey, Big Sack, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
How you been, brother?
Doing well, thank you.
Hey, you were just talking about what I wanted to talk to you about the two hangings. I read on your I was reading your on GematriaEffectNews, your decoding on the hanging of I think you only decoded one guy, or was it both?
Well, I put a link to the other one because I'd already done Robert Fuller. I'd already looked at Robert Fuller's, and I was like, okay, this is strange. It happened on June 10th, that day that NASCAR banned the Confederate flag, and again, the big Black Lives Matter ritual that day. And then he was 24 years old, and the word hangs 24, of course, is the reflection of 42. He's got that Robert Fuller equals 62, big number with the George Floyd thing, Minneapolis, Georgia, Floyd, riot. But then also that 152 thing with his name and the location and the 152nd anniversary of the 14th Amendment. So I think they're signaling something about July 9th. Oh, again, they're signaling O.J. Simpson on that date. And I'll remind people, the last time O.J. Simpson was in the news was hours before the Las Vegas shooting, October 1st, 2017. So the OJ thing is telling me something's probably coming July 9th. And while we're at it, let's not forget tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 44-64 date numerology, where we always see tragedy on the 44-64 date because kill is 44 and 64. But what else is up, man?
Wow, bro, man, you got. How do you memorize all this stuff, bro? How do you keep it in your head? Damn, bro.
7 years.
I'm amazed.
I'm telling you'd be doing the
whoa.
same. You'd probably be doing the same thing as me, but even better if you'd been doing this for 7 years straight. I'm telling you. 7 years straight, man.
Yeah, bro, and that was I showed it to my girlfriend that hanging of, and man, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Southern California isn't on fire right now, bro. Isn't burning. Like, literally.
Well, just wait until the media gives them the mass mind control to go do it. I mean, they could do it on July 9th. They could do it while people are driving around the brand new Ford Broncos with O.J. Simpson painted on the side. I mean, it could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing, things I meant to say tonight that I haven't said. June 20th, I'm really watching June 20th. That's 20/6, like 206. That's the Seattle area code. And right now, Trump's threatening to use force up in Seattle to retake the autonomous zone, which began on June 8th, which was, again, the martial law day we were looking out for. So, yeah, Seattle on June 20th is another thing to watch out for.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I showed my girlfriend how this kid died by the numbers, how you decoded it, and she was like, she didn't say nothing. And she just said, man, she said this, and I know it's real. She's like, well, man, these people are dangerous people with unlimited resources. I said, yep.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right, brother. Good talking to you, bro. Good talking to you.
All right. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Let's go out to Louisiana. What's going on, Louisiana?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Listen, I was just going over this pretty quick. Man, I saw your video today about Captain the Great. I was literally just watching that show today, and there was a few hidden gems in there. So just right off the bat, like the episode I was on, episode 7, it's called A Pox on Hope. It's got 33 Gematria, and they're having a smallpox outbreak. Even one of the main characters in there talking to Captain the Great, she says, I got a great respect for the number 33. Her husband, Peter, on there, he calls himself in one of the episodes called Peter the Great Idea is how you want to be remembered, which has Gematria of 94, same as coronavirus pandemic. And just some of those things there. And then, the episode being 33 is just, it's just crazy. And it has also like an outbreak, and they're calling it epidemic because they have a smallpox outbreak on the same episode.
Very interesting. And okay, so the
It's
virus
definitely
and
stuff in there.
yeah, that great. And I know that I did some more research on her. She comes from France too, like the Jesuits. So yeah, I appreciate it, man.
So I'm pretty sure there's some more in there, but yeah, it's crazy, some of the stuff's in there. So yeah, and one last thing I saw, he has an idea. I had to rewatch the episode to make sure that he said idea or ideas, but he says ideas box. So basically, ideas box got Gematria 34 and 47. So thought that was kind of interesting.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, have a great night.
Yeah,
have a good
great
one.
work. Thank you. Take care. All right, let's go out to California. What's going on, California?
So, Zach,
hey, what's up, man?
I'm going to sit out with that 1 second. 1 second, brother. Hey, is that, remember since, like, did all that call out on all those freaking vessels of Satan a couple months ago when all the bullshit kicked off?
Right.
Didn't supposedly Henry Kissinger pass?
Well, as far as I know, he's still alive. He just turned.
Okay. So, he had his birthday, but then Arturo just passed, right?
Arturo Sosa died, right? Or no.
Yeah.
Adolfo Nicolas died. Arturo Sosa's the current Black Pope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that. All right. Check real quick. I'm shooting a game full, so I'll just make it quick. Have you been giving any thought to any other like platforms, or not necessarily platforms, but doing the as far as like I don't know. So Alex, what's up, Sister Alex? I hope you're listening. Or at least I hope you had a good day. Have you been to her Discord that she put together?
No, I still need to do that. There's been a number of Discords put together, so that's happening. Just right now, I'm just trying to finish the book. That's pretty much all I'm doing.
Gotcha. She's got a great one going on. There's a lot of people using it. So anybody out there, if you're on Discord, GematriaEffectNews that Sister Alex put together. And it's super awesome, Zach. Check into it because, you know, just from my perspective, and I'm already taking up too much time, the one great thought, you know what I mean? And it just kills it. At least that's my perspective. And so on the Discord, you can have up to like 6 people talking at once and stuff like that. So we can actually have conversation and keep moving on and shit like that. So
sure.
Yeah, highly recommend you get check that out. And then ton of other stuff. Hope you see you later. Maybe I'll call back. But all right, brother.
All right,
have a good night, everybody else.
Yeah, have a good night. All right, let's go out to Michigan.
Hey, Zach, got on late tonight and missed the beginning of the show. I don't know what you covered, but did you have no show last week?
I didn't have a show last week. No, there was no show.
You did not? Okay. So, I know you talk about, not slamming the F-bomb on TFR. I called to see if the phone lines were working today at 8 o'clock this evening, and I got Lucky's show, and she was playing a new song by Chris Geo, and it, how he slams, or he takes other songs, shout, let it all out, these other things I can scream about or whatever, and then he slammed about 50 F-bombs, on air, and every single time I hear Chris on somebody's show, I don't think he does his own show anymore on TFR, at least I don't get a call and listen line anymore, but every time I hear him on somebody's show, he drops about 20 F-bombs. I hear, I used to hear it on the archived telephone line, but they don't, that's like dead air now. And it has been for quite some time. But Chris is always dropping F-bombs on TFR. So just, for, shits and giggles, I don't think he cuts out anybody's F-bombs on your show. And I hear him when I hear your.
Well, he might not anymore. Maybe we've changed the
It
policy.
was always there.
It's possible that they've changed the policy at the radio network. When I started, there was no cussing, and they did edit out calls. But you know what? Maybe I missed the memo somewhere along the way. I'll send a message to Chris and say, "Are we allowed to cuss on TFR now?" Maybe we are. I don't know.
Well, at least he is. I don't hear the hosts or anybody else doing it, but I don't hear your people, getting edited out. So, the callers that call your show. So anyway, I love your work. Keep up the great job, and looking forward to next week's show. And hey, you know what? I don't know if you could send me a link to your YouTube for tonight's show. Where can I get that?
Just search Gematria Effect Sports. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to move on to the next one. We're almost out of time. Gematria Effect Sports. Yeah, take care. The caller who was next in line just hung up. That was too bad. All right, let's go out to New York.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going, man? So, before I start, I just want to say, once again, just thank you for all you do. I really appreciate you. But I'm going to get into it really quick. So, obviously, coronavirus, big thing going on right now. And today I actually went to the beach. And something I just thought was funny was that when you're walking up to the beach and throughout the boardwalk, they make you wear the mask. And it's like, man, all these protests are going on and all this stuff, all these people getting around with one another. And they're making me wear the mask when I'm just walking up with a couple of my friends. It's so unbelievable. It's like a clear deception right in front of people's eyes, and they just don't even see it. And I'm like, man, all these people, all these protests, no increase in cases. It's like, this is all the evidence people need that, it's a big hoax. At least that's how I view it. And, you got to go to the barbershop, you got to wear your mask and all this stuff. But, someone was talking, they were bringing up, I think someone was talking about saints while I was listening. And I'm like, let me look at Saint Corona. And what's interesting is that it happens to be the saint of pandemics. And so I typed in Saint Corona, ST, like Saint Corona, and it happens to be the number 33 and 111, just like, two big New York numbers. And I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy, New York, the epicenter of coronavirus, Saint Corona, and Saint Corona has New York numbers. So I didn't know if you knew about that before, but that was just a revelation. I thought that was very interesting.
Sure, the Saint Corona thing's interesting, but that's the entire source of Saint Corona, from what I saw, is coming from one church, and it's kind of like in disagreement with what other churches are saying, but still, just the fact that even one church has that is something, so. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think the numbers, just the fact that Saint Corona, those numbers backing up in New York, they're pretty insane. And Zach, I was talking to my friends last night. One of my friends is a very intelligent kid. He goes to Notre Dame and, judge intelligence how you want. But I remember I was watching one of your Gematria school lessons about having to explain things to people. And I was taking so many notes with everything you were saying, from Martin Luther King to 9/11 to all the 74s. Just very basic things that people would be able to understand. And, you said the dichotomy that people usually fall into is that they understand what you're saying in relation to the numbers, but the one thing that they can't get past is like, oh, well, there's more than one cipher, so it's unbelievable. But I'm like, dude, you have to look at it as a system. You have to understand that if there was only one cipher, there's obviously words that equate, or there's words that are more letters, that it would be impossible to line up unless there was more than one cipher. And I'm trying to explain that to them, but, people are just so set in their ways, and you can literally explain to them the world, but they'll just come up with one misconception, and
well, again, and then you have to be able to beat them in that argument. But again, you have to be able to beat people in that argument when you're in person, because it's like an easy thing to do. It's like, okay, well, look at the word judge. It's 47 forwards. It's 88 in reverse. And Trump's name is 88 and 47 forwards and backwards. And his first judge that he appoints for the Supreme Court gets confirmed on 4/7 of all dates. And his full name, Neil McGill Gorsuch, equals 88. And plus, there's a whole lot more to it than that. And you could also point out that April 7th, the 97th day of the year, and the word Supreme's 97 with the alphabetic order. So, I mean, there's so many ways that you can go and go, okay, you're saying because let me show you how these things come together with, multiple ciphers. And there's a lot of examples like that, so.
Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
And, I definitely think all right, yeah, Zach, I'm saying you.
All right, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good one. Take care. All right, we got 30 seconds left. Philadelphia, you're the last caller tonight. What's up, Philadelphia?
Yo, brother Zach.
Hey, what's up, man? We only got 30 seconds. We only got 30 seconds before the music comes in, but you got it.
All right, so have you heard anything about Philadelphia and this whole Christopher Columbus situation that's going on with the statue?
I knew about the Rizzo statue, but not about Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, well, go on kyw.com and check out the articles and do some decoding on it. But I live in Philadelphia, and I know that the NBA season is going to end on Christopher Columbus' birthday.
I will look into it. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everyone. That's the end of the show. Be back next week. All right, you guys, that is the end of the normal radio show. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer, and just for about the 5 people that were on hold that we didn't get to in case they want to call in. And actually, before I go to those next group of calls, and let me just change the screen here so people don't call the wrong number. There, that's the, except for I want to change something about this screen real quick. Hold on, whoops. 1 second, bear with me. There. Isn't it cool that this time of year at 9 p.m. it looks like this? It's like daytime almost. So, on the, we're very close to the summer solstice, and the sun usually sets here pretty close to 10 o'clock at night on the summer solstice. But that's the advantage of being north in the summer, but in the winter you get the opposite effect. It gets darker way earlier. It's like dark all day. It's like people get so moody in Seattle. It's cloudy, plus it's dark, plus it's raining, plus it's cold. Anyway, I wanted to cover this tonight. Again, Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. So the Agenda 21 conference was earlier in the year. It was on April 23rd of 92, the 113th day of the year, 113. Remember, coronavirus pandemic equals 113, and 113 is the 30th prime, and vaccine equals 30, and they declared the pandemic on March 11th, 11/3. So on the 113th day of that year, they had their... Well, you know what? Technically, it was a leap year, so technically it wasn't the 113th day of the year, but like I've said, in leap years, you got to pay attention to even what the date normally is, because then they look at the anniversaries. Anyway, that year, 92, they published, 178 countries signed off on the Sustainable Development Goals from Agenda 21 on June 3rd. And remember, this year, June 3rd, it was the day that they said coronavirus was found in George Floyd's autopsy. June 3rd is the 155th day of the year. Coronavirus is 155. They were having that big vaccine summit in London at the same time. So anyway, 155th day is when they signed off on the Agenda 21 goals for sustainable development, which is about, fixing the world to save the planet. And honestly, you guys, I think the way Agenda 21 is being executed right now is truly with the execution of poor people in hospitals and it being blamed on coronavirus. And people like homeless, like how all of a sudden Seattle's homeless population's gone. I think there's some really sick stuff going on right now that we don't know about. But Agenda 2030 was the continuation of Agenda 21, and notice what day it concluded. It concluded September 27th, which is the Jesuit Order's birthday, and Barack Obama spoke there at the last day of Agenda 2030 on September 27th. There he is, Barry L. And what's interesting is from his birthday that year, August 4th to September 27th was his 54th day of his age. Jesuit Order's 54, just like John Carroll's 54, who established the first Jesuit university at age 54, Georgetown. And the Jesuit logo's the sun, and the sun's used to keep time, and all of this has to do with time. Sun's 54 like Jesuit Order. Obama's 54th day of his age. And not to mention, he was 54 years old at the time, too. 2015 is when this happened. He turned 54 August 4th, and then on his 54th day of being 54 years old, he's at this big, Agenda 2030, concluding on the Jesuit Order's birthday. You see how this comes together? And he was the winner of the 56th U.S. presidential election in 2008. Remember, that's the big coronavirus number. Coronavirus 56, Anthony Fauci, toilet paper, mind control, Washington, D.C., how Black Lives Matter is factoring into this, Society of Jesus. Obama's birthday is 8-4, Jesuits 84, and Jewish Gematria Obama's 84. Right now, the mayor in Chicago, where Obama gave his acceptance speech when he became president in Chicago at Grant Park. Right now, the mayor of Chicago is the 56th mayor, Lori Lightfoot, and her birthday is also August 4th, like Obama's. Her birthday is also August 4th. Her name sums to 76, like Barack Obama, like Negro. Just think about it. What are the odds? And again, just with regards to it being Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, Jesuit has that 2130 connection. Bible has that 3021 connection. The ministry of Jesus began at age 30. The Society of Jesus. They refer to them as Sustainable Development Goals, which equal 151, Pandemics 151. And they say the first case of coronavirus arrived in the U.S. January 15th, 15/1, like 151. And right now they're achieving all of these things from Agenda 21 and 2030. So, no doubt. Again, it's all Jesuits. These rituals were clearly Jesuit. It's just, you just see how it all comes together so perfectly. Undeniable. Again, just like how they got this girl, Ellie Fanning, playing Catherine in Catherine the Great, who saved the Jesuit order, and the actress's name is 54, just like the man who just died that was the superior general of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas, 54. He died at age 84. You got the big thing going on in Seattle right now in Capitol Hill, another 54, right next to one of the nation's limited Jesuit schools. There's 27 Jesuit universities, so less than one per state. The thing happening in Seattle right now is happening right at that Jesuit university. And again, just how they pick these actresses for this part. Ellie Fanning, playing Catherine the Great with a 9-4 birthday. Catherine the Great, 94. And then again, it turns out her husband was killed on a date that corresponds with the Jesuits. Also, something else that stood out today. The actor from that 70s show arrested for 3 counts of rape. And I just noticed from today to the arraignment date is 93 days. 93 represents Saturn, the keeper of time, connected to judgment. He's going to be going to court, judgment, 93 days later. And again, the words judge and gavel are the exact same in all 4 base ciphers. Judge, gavel, time, the exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And the date he'll be in court will be a date with 47 numerology. His name, Danny Masterson, is 56 and 79, like Society of Jesus is 56 and 79. The name Masterson alone is 56. Again, just everything that's going on in the time of coronavirus is just weird. Even those celebrities that are dying who aren't from coronavirus, it's just, everyone just has the same numbers. It's just like, it's never been more clear who's in control of the ritual at this moment in history. And that 70 show even equals 54, like Jesuit order. So his full name equals 307, Daniel Peter Masterson, 307, the 63rd prime. This news comes on a date with 63 numerology today. 63 date numerology today. Remember how that riddle worked out for Tom Brady in the last Super Bowl that he won? It was his 307th career game, the 63rd prime, and he became 6-3 in Super Bowls in the Atlanta Stadium, where the full name of it equals 307. Aunt Jemima said it's ending. Quaker owns Aunt Jemima now, but they said they're ending the Aunt Jemima brand because it's racist, having a black woman on there smiling. Apparently a black woman smiling is racist. There might be some sick history with these corporations. I mean, all these corporations are mostly found out of darkness, but honestly, in my entire life, when I looked at the Aunt Jemima thing, I never thought, oh, that's so horrible. I just see oh, there's a pretty woman smiling drawn on my syrup bottle. And I guess Miss Buttersworth's and something else is also following suit. I guess what they're saying is, we're getting rid of the past of, wealthy white people having, black people cook for them. I'm sure that's where they're going with it. Just like how Gone with the Wind has been banned by HBO. Gone with the Wind equals 68, like the word age equals 68. In 1968, that film opened the Cannes Film Festival, which concluded because of rioting. They didn't get to finish the festival because of rioting that year. And now while the George Floyd protesting and rioting is going on, You know, Gone with the Wind has to be banned from HBO. And again, everything going back to 1968. Coronavirus coined in 1968. The assassinations of MLK, RFK, 911 made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began, and so on and so on. All the things that went down in 68. Chapter 2 of the new book. Something I wrote about in the first book, but now we got even more information. And by the way, University of Washington up in Seattle, where a lot of this is coming from. A lot of the Event 201 participants from the Seattle area. Big tech city. The university there, one of the first universities to lock it down. They estimate that 201,000 people will die by October. Last October was the Event 201 coronavirus outbreak simulation. October, the lone month with a 33 gematria. In India, another thing in the headlines yesterday, 201 more cases of COVID-19. This stuff's everywhere. Again, YouTube put 2 strikes on the main channel. Probably means it's gone. There'd been a guy trolling the last 2 weeks, just spamming in like every video, that once the channel got to 40,000 views, he would make sure it was deleted. And it just seemed like it was a bot account. But you know what happened? We hit 40,000 views, and then as soon as that happened, or not views, but 40,000 subscribers, which is nothing. Again, we've been there many times before. It's just we keep getting deleted. Just gets harder and harder every time to get it up to a decent count. But as soon as it hit 40,000, 2 strikes. Bam, bam. Both for George Floyd. You know, and call-in shows, having people call in and talk about it and share information. And then they say harassment and cyberbullying. That's what the video is taken down for. Harassment and cyberbullying. It's like, wait, who am I harassing? I'm like decoding, talking about ongoing patterns that I've written a book about and proven my point about 1,000 times. Information that goes against the cabal's agenda is considered harassment and cyberbullying, when in reality what they're doing is harassment and cyberbullying. You know, constantly censoring you, strikes, trolls after you, hiring trolls to troll your Patreon page even. You know, harassment and cyberbullying is what I've been putting up with for 7 straight years. And then I got to hear from big tech, it's me. Laughable. So, 21 states report increase in COVID-19 cases. This was earlier today. 21, Jesuit 21, 21st century. Oh man, it's them. It's never been more clear. So, all right, Truth Seeker, I'll take a few calls, and then we can wrap it up. If you want to call in, the number is 509-731-0567. Again, 509-731-0567. All right, let's see. Caller?
Hey, what's up, man? Did you realize June 21st, obviously, when you write it 21/6, right? You already know where I'm going with this. But you know that it's a lunar eclipse, and it's supposed to be, I think, the 666 lunar eclipse in the 1300-year cycle?
It'll be. Say it to me. Say it one more time.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to be quiet because my. So, June 21st, written 21/6, right? 216. The whole, 6 times 6 times 6 thing.
Right.
It was just making sense to me. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, Father's Day is, June 21st. I'm thinking Father, like Saturn, the keeper of time and all this stuff. I don't really know how to connect it like that. It's more like Rambo's thing. But I was just thinking about it, something to think about. But I was reading somewhere that it's the 666th lunar eclipse in the 1300-year cycle on 21/6. You know what I mean?
Sure. And it comes right after this. They always do stuff at the solstice. And yeah.
I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually outside of my house right here, and there's a star. I don't know what it is. It's like flashing in the sky. It's not a plane, dude. I'm trying to get my telescopic zoom lens for my camera. Trying to take a picture of it, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, I've heard about a lot of people making strange sightings and stuff going on in the sky.
Dude, this thing is not a fucking plane, dude.
Sure.
Or it's it's like something in the sky glowing. It looks like it's red. It's pulsating, dude. And I know I'm not stoned like that, dude. There's no way.
Well, it could be like a drone or one of these Starlink things they're doing, or who knows what. So
I don't know, but if anyone's outside, definitely look up in the sky. And
well, you're in the. Where are you? You're in the Rhode Island area.
yeah, I'm in Rhode Island, man.
Okay, I'm on the other side of the country, so I probably couldn't see it, but
Yeah, oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's 3 hours behind, right?
yeah. So all right, man. I appreciate it. All right, man. You have a good night.
Hey, you as well, man.
All right, take care. Indiana.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling in over here from Worcester, Ohio.
Okay.
Am I on right now or am I on hold?
No, you're on. You're on.
Oh, okay. I'm just calling because I thought it was interesting. When I looked up rapist and reverse for order, it comes to 23. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, so I apologize.
You sound great.
But also, when I was reading an article on James Masterson, I believe his name is,
Right.
I saw in the article that he was bonded out at 2:23 p.m. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, so I thought I'd share that with you. I just noticed that, so I thought I'd give you a call and let you know that.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
All right, we'll do. You take care. Yeah, so again, Seattle's really interesting on the summer solstice because Seattle's the 206 area code. One of the biggest events is going on right there right now with the autonomous zone. Always stuff on the summer solstice. Summer solstice and Society of Jesus are the exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. It's happening right next to the Jesuit school. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach Bud?
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I've been doing pretty good on the social media now. I got one of my little posts going viral. I got like 17,000 downloads.
Very cool.
Oh, well, 17,000 views, but I'm still pushing them to the website. Hey, I got a quick question. Did you ever pay attention to the presidential salary?
Oh, when they, I know for years it was a certain thing, and then I think it raised under Bush.
Well, you know what it is now? It's $400,000 a year, right?
Okay.
Man, it actually comes out exactly to $33,333.33 a month.
Huh. Crazy. Yeah, we know why they did that.
Completely nuts. And another quick one. You know how they do this? Cause I believe like a lot of this Masonic stuff. I actually think that got something to do with what we're living in. Is actually the age of the Gregorian calendar, and I think that's what this Gregorian calendar was put in for, so they can put this Bible in and then make everything look like this stuff is happening out the Bible, but they're actually just, this is part of their plan. That's why everything looks like it's happening from out the Bible, because it's literally happening.
Exactly. The scripture is the script.
Well, guess what? Guess what else I noticed?
What's that?
The Egyptian calendar, which is the first calendar, it's the year 6262.
Huh. Crazy.
And one last thing, and I'm going to let you get off of here. 1819, they established the African Slave Patrol.
Huh.
That was to stop the ships. Well, they said during the time period, they only stopped maybe they said fewer than 100 ships. They never gave an exact amount. But do you know the time span was from 1819 to 1861, the 42 years?
Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, great observations.
Yeah, but so there's a couple of things I had noticed, and just to let you people know, I still got the blackpeoplepolitics.com. It's actually I'm starting to get a lot of traffic on it. But I noticed too, man, I'm starting to get a lot of shields and I get a lot of people with these vanished IP addresses. I noticed.
Yeah, I'm sure when we've advertised your channel on there, it's brought the same harassment from the same group of people that,
Yeah. So. Yep. And that really tripped me out though. That's 6262 because isn't 62 the number for Minnesota or for Minneapolis?
Yeah, indeed. Something's up with that.
Yeah, that was a kind of strange number for me, but that was a good radio show too. I was on there for the whole one. That was a good show tonight. I wish that other guy would have came because I wanted to hear you ask them questions myself.
Well, I don't know what happened, man. He was all excited about it, so I don't know if they messed with his internet too, but something happened. So
Probably so, Zach. These people are really doing some crazy stuff to me. Like Facebook, man, I noticed like they'll stop showing me my view.
caller, hello. See, we start talking about that, and they're like, "Oh, mute. I can't hear you anymore, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can still hear me, but it went totally mute." He's still there. He is. Hello. Right when you said they started doing something to me, it just like went mute. I can't really hear anything though. Sorry, caller. Yeah, so you can call me back, but the call is messed up. Okay, but yeah, June 20th, not too far away. Again, tomorrow, June 18th, is our 4464 date. And we know what goes down on the 4464 date every single month. We'll see how they end up fueling this in. Georgia's got that 44 Gematria 2. A lot of attention on Georgia right now. The Ahmaud Arbery story. Now back to Rayshard Brooks. Caller?
Yeah, buddy. I was gonna let you go on and get off of here, man. But they're really hacking on me, man. That's what it was, man. I could hear you the whole time. For some reason, man, they've been doing a lot of this stuff to me, though, man. They're doing my website like that. Sometimes I can't post on Facebook. They won't let me see my views now. I'm starting to get a lot of traffic, man. I'm starting to get a lot of traffic. So, and I'm pushing this Gematria hard.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm glad you're having success with the website. That's great to hear.
Oh man, brother, it's the most valuable news. See what it is, man, is what I do to the people, because you get a lot of deniers. So you know what I got for the deniers now, and I think you should do that too. All you have to do is say, okay, well, just prove me wrong.
Yeah. Well, I do say that, and they never call in to do it, man. They just talk trash in the comments. They can't prove it wrong.
I've been begging for it for 2 weeks. Can't nobody do it. I'm like, how come won't nobody call in and disprove me?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. It's the best knowledge out, man. And so, like I tell the people too, man, they have to really be careful. They have to worry about this stress level, man. These people are going to stress. There's going to be a lot of bad health conditions after this year's out. Definitely heart conditions.
Right.
And mental and heart.
Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of stress, and it won't stop. And I keep telling everybody, man, prepare yourself. This is going to go on to at least the election. That's at a minimum.
It's probably going to go on a lot longer than that, man. It's like they.
Well, if he wins again, we got to guarantee 4 more years of
it. Again, they gave us all that tiger symbolism for a reason. International or Year of the Tigers 2022. So.
Yeah, I told somebody about that. I always refer people, because you know what it is everybody wants you to be wrong. You know, this stuff really they want you to be wrong, and I have to tell them, well, listen, man, the probability of numbers falling in Zach is so odd that if you believe that it's easy, just go play the lottery, and it'll show you how hard it is with just zero to 9.
Right.
So for you to think that all of this stuff is just gonna fall on a coincidence, and what was something else? Oh, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, 56 years ago.
That is true. It's the 56-year anniversary of the Civil Rights Movement, man. I've been sleeping on that one this whole time. You're right.
I've been trying to tell you this, man, for so long. I just keep forgetting. It just popped me right there.
The name of the officer who's responsible for the killing in Atlanta, who got the murder charge today, his name equals 64, like civil rights is 64. And yeah, Black Lives Matter 56-year anniversary. I don't know how I was missing that this whole time. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. So the what's the name? The 56 year, and that make it so bad. I just found that out just talking about my post today. I'm like, they killing me. I was like, man, they ain't did nothing for you since the Civil Rights Act. It was nothing but a sham. I was like, they did nothing for you. They just give you a bunch of rhetoric, change something, and leave even if they change the laws, they still leave all the consequences the same. And then I said, you know what? As a matter of fact, that's 56 years ago. And if you motherfuckers knew about Gematria, you would have knew that this 56 had to do with coronavirus too. This is just one big ritual, man, and it will not stop. So what Rambo was saying about the bigger the ritual, I think he's serious about that too, because they won't quit spinning it off. It's almost like a TV series. It's like almost week for week now. Because now we got the hangings. You got the hangings that's going on. So, of course, that's going to get a lot of media attention in a minute. It just won't quit. It's not going to quit. Like I said, it's just not going to quit.
No, it's gonna be a really bad summer, man. And I actually heard today on the news, when I had my news on at the lunch break, I heard they say this could be like the most eventful summer since 1968. When I heard that, I was just like, man, people just don't know. They should know, but they don't know.
Yeah, and you know I feel bad too, because I feel bad for the people who go for Trump, because I know deep in their heart, because even me, I go for Trump, but it's always for a totally different reason. I like him to keep the chaos with them, because as long as Trump is in there, one thing's for sure is they will come out to play. For some reason, Trump brings the devil out of them people. He brings the devil, maybe because he's the devil himself. So a lot of times, you know, you get what you put in. And so that part I don't mind, because that way the people with Trump in there, the people are waking up. Usually the other people are so smooth with it that the people don't really know what's going on, and they just accept it. But with Trump, it's hard to accept it because he's so unlikable.
Right.
He's so unlikable. You would think, why would they put that person in there? And then once you start adding everything up, well, he was in there for the division.
That's what I told people that February 2016. So
Yep, and I seen that post too. You know, I seen that post you put up. I went back and said, yeah, I seen that. That's the one when the light came on you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, man. So yeah, buddy, nice talking to you. Just some quick observations, and letting you know I'm still working. I still push it, man. So you're probably getting a few more followers, because I've never tried to claim this stuff, man. Like I tell everybody, I'm still brand new with it. So whenever I need help, I tell them I go to you. I don't really know. I don't know these numbers like offhand like you do.
Sure. Well, you're getting better and better, man.
Yep. Well, okay, bud. Appreciate it, man. Keep up the good work, man, and I'll keep you informed on the stuff.
Appreciate it. You have a good night.
You too, bud.
Take care. And just to remind people, another big anniversary coming up is July 21st. That'll be the 247-year anniversary of the banning of the Pope, or not the Popes, the 247-year anniversary of the banning by the Jesuits by the Pope, July 21st this year. They were banned July 21st, 1773. Again, they were saved with the 201 Jesuits by Catherine the Great, who has a new show about her on Hulu. And the two cities that are huge in this are Seattle, Washington, and Atlanta, Georgia, and they both equal 247. Again, a lot of the Event 201 people came out of Seattle. Atlanta's where the CDC is. Caller?
Hey, Zach, it's Fun from Free to Fun Tooth. I haven't called in a while.
What's up, man?
I got the 4464 thing. I understand it, but what happens? Is it a bad thing at 2045? Does that mean that maybe all the killing and stuff will stop then? Because you can't have a 4464 date after 2042, I would think, right? Because January 1st would be 1/1, unless I'm doing it wrong.
Well, I'd have to think about. I'd have to do the math and check it out. I'm not sure right now off the top of my head.
Yeah, because it would also start in the 2000s.
But it's like this. It's like it's not going to stop, man. The 64 dates will still come up. 44 dates will come up. They still do this stuff on those days. But every time the one day of the month where it's got the 44 and the 64 and the same date numerology, it's the same thing. It's just clockwork. Dead celebrities, tragedies, shootings. Well, with all the shit going on tomorrow, I'm sure we'll get some continuation. The next thing to rile people up. So.
All right, man. Very good.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, again, just dates to look for. Tomorrow's the 4464 date. We know what happens there. But man, this June, the solstices are they always do stuff on the solstices, and. Didn't I just put something up here real quick? Hold on. What did I do with it? This right here. Again, Seattle's the 206 area code. Seattle rituals in 206, huge. Remember when Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl with exactly 206 passing yards? They just couldn't have scripted it any better. But I just know, or I shouldn't say I know, but this is just where my eyes are for the summer solstice, because again, the whole thing happening in Capitol Hill in Seattle is right next to the Jesuit University. That Odd Fellows Society that it never really dawned on me. The Odd Fellows thing never really dawned on me before, but that's the big building overlooking this Seattle scene right now in the autonomous zone, and they happen to be 201 years old right now. So, Trump threatening to make something happen there. Anyway, True Seeker, if we don't have any more callers, we can wrap it up. And not quite done on the book. And I'm going to stop saying what day I'm going to be finished because then I feel like I put pressure on myself and then I don't write as well. But anyway, it's going to be really good. And for people who do want to read the book and are just, chomping at the bit, I've uploaded the first 4 chapters on Patreon. And you know what? I'll do something right now. If you don't want to pledge $1, you only have to pledge $1 to read the... Hold on. Let me do it this way. We got a call first. Caller?
Hey, how are you, guys?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I just remember something from last year. You remember KSI and Logan Paul's match last year?
Okay. Boxing match?
Yeah, so on the press conference, he asked him like a math question. He's like, what's 7 times 8? And he couldn't answer it, and that was 56. So that was like a really weird thing to be asking in a boxing match, like in a press conference,
Right.
So that's kind of like a scripted thing.
Huh. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, I just remember, so there's like a lot of 56s everywhere. I mean, you pretty much cover everything, but like, I just remember this one. I was like, you know what, the whole boxing thing, sport is rigged. So they even tell this, the guys to say these things, I guess.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all, my man. I just remember that, but still.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in and the heads up. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Take care. All right. So I put up the first 4 chapters for people on Patreon, and if you ever see this guy on here commenting daily picks only, just ignore him. He's a troll. He's one of the trolls that spams all day. But for $1, you can read the first 4 chapters, and I might flush those 4 chapters out and re-upload them again because I actually tucked in a few more things in each of those chapters to make them even better. Because I just keep rereading everything and just making sure I got everything right, and I still need to finish up a few chapters and some research. But, I mean, the nice thing is as time goes on, they keep giving us these gems, and I'm just able to tuck in a few more words here, just make it more potent. But, yeah, if you read chapters 1 through 4, that's the majority of the book. So there are 19 chapters, but I put a lot up front. So I think chapter 1's just under 50 pages, chapter 2, 30-some pages, chapter 3, 10 pages, and then chapter 4 is like 30 pages too. So, I mean, there's a lot to read there. And for anyone who's new at this, and am I tripping, or did weren't there just 4 things to download there? Okay, what in the world? Anyway, I will upload all 4 chapters again. But that first chapter, if you're new, if you read that first chapter, it will give you a lot of really good things to remember and a lot of things you can share with people if you're trying to introduce this knowledge to them. So I don't know how any critic could read chapter 1 and try to debunk it. I know they can't, but I don't even know how they could try to. So. But seriously, why does it say just chapter 1? I know I uploaded all 4 chapters. What in the world? All right, hold on. Let me just put up the other ones right now while we're at it. They should all be there. All right. All right. Yeah, we can call it a night, you guys. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Amazing any of you guys found it because I can't even see that this is happening again through my... my own subscription link. All right, hold on. We got one more caller here. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, are you hearing anything about George Floyd having Jack? They're saying that he's dead 3 years ago.
That he's been dead for 3 years?
Yeah. There was supposed to be a lawyer that had represented him on the case, said that they had played football together in college. And he said that he died 3 years ago.
Well, none of that would surprise me. They did that years ago. There was a shooting on Ramadan, supposedly a Muslim guy. God, what state was that in? I'm trying to remember the state. But on Ramadan, a Muslim guy supposedly shot up a military recruiting station and one of the people they reported dead and put it on his image and everything, people were able to easily dig up that soldier had died like 5 or 6 years ago in service, and now they're using his name and his image, supposedly killed in this mass shooting on Ramadan. And so what I'm saying is, yeah, it's entirely possible. It wouldn't be the first time they gave you a news story of a guy who'd already died years ago and told you he just died that day.
Yeah, that's crazy. They just come with you. I was wondering if you heard anything about that.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, man. If they recorded that thing years ago, it's entirely possible. So
They even said that there was a text from Obama saying rest in peace for Floyd. This from 3 years ago.
Huh. Yeah, interesting.
I just wanted to add that. You have a good night. Appreciate all the work you do.
All right, man. You're welcome. You have a good night, too. Thank you. All right. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to leave it there. And, yeah, we really have to do something. Again, this information I got today, it's like I already knew this was going on, but then I actually heard it and somebody who saw it. And, yeah, there's real evil in the world right now that needs to be conquered. So it's not going to be the sleepers. And I got mosquitoes buzzing around my head right now. So, all right, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Till next time.